Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Today's episode, we're going to find out if Cursor can code in Swift. Yes, that's right. It's a little bit more of an advanced topic today because a lot of people have been asking me, it's like, hey, can you do Swift development with iOS using Cursor? And the challenge is really quite interesting when you start to dealing with things. When you do development with Swift or any iOS or macOS development, it usually requires Xcode. So today I've actually called upon a good friend of mine. His name is Ronald Mannak, and he's actually a Swift developer, a longtime Swift developer for over a decade or so plus. Has been developing apps for a number of years and has had a couple different exits with startups, and has his own app in the App Store built with Swift called Pico, Pico Pro or Pico GPT. And today's is going to be actually more of an exploratory type of stream. And what we're hoping to do is just kind of take you along this journey to get Ronald started. I've been talking a lot about Cursor and how excited I am, and I've been using it a lot for front end and back end web development. But I thought, Ronald said he was really interested in learning this, and this could be a really fun stream for both of us to kind of explore and ask lots of questions. So what to expect in today's stream? What I would expect is just kind of us asking lots of questions. We're going to set up different timestamp markers along the way. I'm currently outdoors in lovely Montana on my little vacation type of thing. And so I have a little bit of a lawnmower, or someone else is here is kind of doing their thing. And you may hear that coming in and out. I'll try to do my best to mitigate the noise, and my apologies in advance for this. But, hopefully that things kind of settle down a little bit more from there. And then we're also going to have some sections for people to comment. So what I would encourage is if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments in the stream, and then I'll be able to feature them. We're going to have little timeout breaks every 5 to 10 minutes to feature the comments and kind of have a break in between to kind of answer some questions and go back and forth. So that's kind of what we're doing today. We're trying to also understand the limits of these language models. These language models can hallucinate, and how do you know if there's good code, if there's bad code? And so I thought maybe with the two of us combined, as we're doing things, we can try to understand the limitations, and then maybe with some prompting knowledge, we can steer these models in a direction that maybe can help us with this type of thing. So without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce Ronald. Hey, how's it going, Ronald?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. So yeah, happy to be here. My name is Ronald. I'm a Swift developer. I was thinking when you said that, Ray, so it is indeed a decade, because 2014 is exactly when Swift launched. And I was there actually at the keynote when it launched. It was a complete surprise.
Wow.
And actually, we had Chris Lattner on the show, our Friday show, a few months ago. And Chris Lattner is the creator of Swift.
That's right.
If you haven't seen that episode yet, go check it out, because he dropped some things that I didn't even know, like how things went internally, what happened before the launch and after the launch. It's very interesting. And if you're not aware, Chris Lattner is now working at Mojo. He's the founder of Mojo, which is as I would describe it, a Python compiler, based DSL for AI. I would say. Not sure if that's 100% correct, but it's fascinating what he's doing. So go check that out, that episode. So yeah, in short, I have experience in Swift for just over a decade. I have done things in MLX. I wouldn't claim that I'm the expert in MLX. Thankfully, we have at least one real expert listening in the stream, and that's Prince, the king of MLX. He's the person who ported probably most of all the models out there to MLX. And I am completely new to Cursor. Cursor I installed yesterday. I paid $20 for the Pro version, and I did a short test I'll go into later yesterday evening that had mixed results using Swift. But other than that, I'm completely new to everything. And maybe it's good to start explaining a little bit about MLX, what MLX is, and we're going to mention other things like CoreML as well, which is another Apple framework. Would it make sense to start there, just quickly explaining which is which, what is what?
Sure. Yeah. If we want, we can share one of our screens here. I think we have your screen pulled up
Yep.
as well, and then
Okay,
we can kind of
let's
get that
start
a
there.
little bit going. Yeah. And so, for those
Yeah.
who aren't familiar, what's been happening in this world is that a lot of stuff has been released for like Python, and what's been really nice about using the framework for that Apple has developed here called MLX is that you can fully take advantage of these models with your Mac, and you don't necessarily need a GPU. You can take advantage of all the GPU and all the different things that a Mac provides, and so this is a layer using Python to be able to kind of tap into this like AI market of things. And Prince Kanuma has been, like Ronald said, has been able to basically do some of these like what do you call translations at a very high level, so that to make them accessible so you can make apps with them, and so one of our downsides is like we want to actually ship software with them on devices with iPhones and with Macs, and without including all these frameworks, because you're not really allowed to for the App Store. And that's our primary motivation to see, hey, I have an app that does Whisper, so I can take an audio file and transcribe it. I'd love to just be able to ship a Mac Store app with that, or an iOS version of that, where I can just do it all on device, and maybe load up a model. And so this is going to be like a multi-step process, and we're going to be walking you through a little bit of like how does I'm going to be asking Ronald how he thinks through like viewing documentation. So if you're kind of maybe new to development, you'll get to see an experienced developer like take a look at documentation, ask some questions, and then we're going to try to maybe load up the environment for Cursor too, to see how do we pull those documents in, maybe some techniques for pulling documents in if it's not doing the different things that we need to do, and then maybe some setup around Python and so forth. So yeah, this is just going to be like a chill stream, and please forgive my outdoor event stuff here. I'm actually currently in Montana and trying to do these things here. So I'm going to mute for a second, and I'll let you kind of explain a little bit more, Ronald.
Yeah, sure. So I think to start with why Apple, because like if you read about AI, it's a lot of talk about like NVIDIA and such, and I think the main reason why I'm interested in like bringing AI to Apple is the memory architecture of Apple Silicon. Whereas all NVIDIA GPUs have like separate memory, which is very fast. It's always limited. And the issue with that is that all these AI models that we have, all these LLMs, are big. They're huge. So
Mm.
what you want to have for these models, if you want to like run them, run inference, is like a lot of memory, and NVIDIA doesn't offer that yet. You can buy, of course, multiple NVIDIA cards, but that would be expensive, and it will use a lot of power. Whereas Apple has like the whole memory available for both the GPU and CPU. It's shared. It's a little bit slower than NVIDIA, but having more memory makes up a lot, and especially like again for LLMs, which are like big in size. So until recently, we only had one way of using AI on the Mac and iOS, iPhone, and that was CoreML. CoreML is built into iOS, both iOS and macOS, and CoreML is limited. It was limited, very limited. It got a huge upgrade in the next versions of iOS and macOS that will be coming out this fall. I think that is it Sequoia, the new version of macOS? I don't even know. And then we have like iOS. Which one is it? 18 we're getting. I lost count, to be honest. But it will be like a big update in Core ML. But something was still missing. And in December of last year, Apple introduced another framework, which is partly like overlapping with Core ML, not 100%, but partly, and that's called MLX. And MLX is kind of a NumPy for Apple Silicon. Why is it interesting? Well, because like all the other frameworks that you have for AI, all these Python libraries, they're all multi-platform. They work on NVIDIA, they work on Linux, on your Windows, on Mac and everything. But Doing that means that you are missing a lot of optimizations for a specific platform. So you're not getting the speed, the full speed that's possible. And that's what MLX kind of solves. It is a familiar API. If you're familiar with all these Python frameworks, but under the hood, it's actually C++, and it's only available for Apple Silicon. It is not for NVIDIA. It's not for Intel. It's not for any other like platform. It's pure Apple Silicon. So that is what it's optimized for, and that's why it's so incredibly fast. And the interesting thing is that even though Apple is this huge company, and sometimes not the fastest or not the first to ship like certain technologies, we've seen in the last couple of months that MLX has improved like a lot. Like every few weeks, there has been like a major update that increases the speed again, like 2x or something like that, which is insane. So we've seen like all kind of insane optimizations happening on MLX the last couple of months. So that's great. However, the current MLX library is primarily focused still on Python, which is good if you're like a researcher or something, or you want to do like things like fine tuning all these things. But for developers like me, Swift developers, if you want to create like an app and publish it on the App Store for iOS or for Mac, you want to have like a Swift interface, like Swift bindings. You want to have that, and that wasn't there until quite recently. So luckily, MLX is now available for Swift, and that is also completely open source. It's called MLX Swift, and you can find the whole repository for MLX on github.com/ml-explore. However, there are a few things that, as a Swift developer, annoy me a little bit. I have to be very honest. One thing is the Swift version is always like almost a month behind the Python version and the C++ versions. So all these cool things you see on Twitter, like, hey, MLX has been like it's twice as fast now again. If you use C++ or Python, yes. If you use Swift, you have to wait a month to use all these new speed ups, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is super helpful, like background and stuff. So yeah, let's go ahead and see if you can get the Cursor IDE open, and maybe if you haven't installed any of the Python plugins to work with Python, it may be very helpful. Have you ever used VS Code or anything before?
Yeah, I have a few times, but to be honest,
Okay.
I'm not a fan of VS Code. So,
All right. Yeah.
and one of the things that annoys me is like a lot is this. If you scroll down, you get like a blank page. I mean, what the
That's right. Yeah,
It
yeah.
is so weird. It is. So I'm not the biggest fan,
Right.
but AI, that is something that I'm super interested in. So
That's right.
if I can't find everything, just yell, comment, and
Yeah. So
I'll
if you
ensure
want to
to
go
find it.
ahead, what could be good right now is maybe pull up the list of plugins you have installed so that other people can see the plugins that you have for like Python and Swift, maybe. And if you
How
haven't
do I
done
do
that,
that?
maybe if you go to the very there's the little magnifying glass that's right above where it says the name of Swift MLX examples there. And to the right of that, there's like a little Tetris looking one more over.
I
There
see.
you go.
Yep.
Yeah. So those are the current plugins that are currently installed. You may want to look one up for Swift as well, because we'll probably be using Swift, and there's probably some like cool plugins there that we need for the Swift language. Yes.
Cool.
And then let's see if there's anything else in there. Swift package or Swift.
Oh, I see multiple Swift. So this is another thing that confuses me as someone who's not familiar with VS Code. I see a lot of like Swift implementations here. So is this one enough? Is this good enough? Do I install this one as well, the Swift development environment, even though I have like my command line tools from Xcode already installed?
Those are very solid
Not
questions,
really.
and what's cool is that just for the folks who are just joining, we're doing an Explorer storage stream today, and we're going to try to see if we can port something that's written in MLX Swift, which is an MLX Python package, and see if we can port that over to Swift. Our goal is to maybe make one of these Whisper apps that I've made that does like transcriptions and port that over, so I can just run that on an iOS device or on a macOS device, so that you can download and have it available for the App Store. And so in our theory and what's going on today, Ronald has his setup, and we're basically starting from scratch. With Ronald being an experienced developer and using primarily Xcode, this is completely a new environment. So I thought, hey, why don't we just use this as an opportunity to learn together? And there's probably other people who are going to want to change into this workflow who haven't done this yet, so we don't want to assume anything. And so if you're kind of be sticking along, I'm going to have some timestamps after the fact, so that way if you're watching the stream later on, you'll be able to kind of skip through different sections that interest you. So right now we're kind of the first stage here is just kind of chunking out the setup. And I also want to give a shout out to right now for the people who have been joining in the stream. We have Linus, who is currently about to head out, and so he's going to watch the stream on the replay. So, hey, Linus, how's it going? Thanks for kind of joining in the stream. That's really nice. We also have Brad on X as well. He's a designer and looking to begin coding with iOS and Cursor. So interested to see how approachable this is. And this is going to be a really, really great way to do that. Funny says, hi, awesome live stream. Thank you. Appreciate that. Ray Fernando on YouTube. That's me. I'm just saying hi. I was trying to get to the comments there. So True Health says, yo, whoever makes a new IDE instead of using Xcode, even though with MLX, Apple are very slow. That's another pain point that people are trying to figure out right now is hopefully Apple comes through with their own AI thing that isn't so slow and making it a lot faster. Hello, N1 Play 5. So voice quality is bad. Text is not clear enough. Okay. Is this on YouTube? That would be interesting. So may have to make the text a little bit bigger. And that'll be, let me see if I can, while Ronald is going through, if anyone else is having a similar issue, please let me know, because I want to see if I can do something here on the stream to make the quality a lot better, because right now it says I'm currently streaming at 1080p and the stream health stuff looks okay, and I'm wondering if the stream could be downsampling for some people. You may have to click the gear icon and upsample it to 1080, depending on your connection and so forth. But this could be very helpful. And if not, because this stream is also being recorded, I can re-upload it in the higher quality if there is a problem. But definitely appreciate everyone who's been taking a look and even helping us out here. And I'm just going to make little sections where we stop in for comments and then kind of continue forth, just so that we can work with this together, but not really try to interrupt the flow too much. I love you guys. Thank you so much for doing this. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, we're here coding together. Come hang with us. I'm here in lovely Montana. The lawnmower has now went away, and it's warming up a little bit. Even the bees are showing up here to say hello to me. And thank you for showing up to say hello as well. And let me see. I think what I wanted to do on my end was I wanted to see is let's see if we can get via like what plugins, let me make this bigger too, do I need for VS Code to work with Python and Swift development. So what I'm using is Perplexity Pro or perplexity.ai. And what's nice about this is basically on my behalf, it does a search on the internet and it searches multiple things. With Ronald also being like really heavily into Xcode, and you're saying like, I don't have familiar with how to do stuff in VS Code. It's a kind of a new thing, and Xcode and Cursor are pretty much just like Cursor is actually a branch of or a fork of VS Code, and they've built their AI stuff integrated into the development environment. So we're just trying to catch up a little bit and trying to get this stuff started. So if other people who have this experience already, later on, if you're rewatching the live stream, you'll be able to kind of skip through the timestamps to go forward here. So as of now, it looks like for Python development, Python by Microsoft is an extension. I think you may already have that on your thing. Pylance, a fast, rich language server for Python. It's an extension. Python docstring generator. I don't know if we need that. Python Test Explorer. Better comments. So for Swift, they have Swift for Visual Studio Code, which is maybe something you've already downloaded on your end, right?
The package that I downloaded is called Swift. Just Swift. So, excuse me.
Okay.
So I'm going to assume that this actually it has everything, because it says. So I'm getting this pop up, which I didn't see before because it's in the different window.
Yes.
certain extension needs to update
Code
some
LLM.
code, LLDB settings to
Yes, it's
enable
essential for
debugging.
debugging for VS
So
Code. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'd
yeah.
say
So I'm
global.
going to
Yeah.
say global.
Yeah.
I'm going to say global here too, and
Perfect. Thank you
that
for that.
hopefully should do
It
everything.
the one
Yeah,
I also see here is Swift Lint. It says VS Code extension that integrates
yeah.
Swift Lint into your editor. So that could be
That
helpful.
that
It's
I
not a VS Code.
yeah
Oh, for enforcing style, I guess.
yeah
Yeah,
exactly
it's
yeah.
totally up to you. Yeah.
I think we can live without that for
Okay,
now.
okay. Cool. I like this. Yeah, this is super helpful, and that's why it's really fun and trying to get more people. And if you know some stuff, definitely drop some comments, and then we're going to take some breaks and try to see if we can do that. And if anything's really helpful immediately, I'll feature the comments so that way we can kind of learn together, and we have that type of stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, I like using Perplexity over Claude because mostly because of the internet search part, and I get the most up to date information. And because we have the Pro feature, it actually does not only one search, it does 3 different searches based off that, and then searches in different places as a result. So I just think of it as like my Google search times 1,000, yeah, type of thing. So let's go
Yeah,
ahead
the
and
pro tip is to get the Rabbit, right?
yes,
The Rabbit device, it costs you $200, and you get a $200 free subscription Perplexity if you buy the Rabbit or bought Rabbit. I'm not sure if that's still in place, that deal. So that's how we both, Ray and I, got Perplexity. I think your microphone is off, Ray.
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
none of us are sponsored by any of these folks, by the way. We're
No,
just
no,
doing
no.
this truly out of the love of just loving to code and share, and so that we can grow and learn together. And I feel like we need to do more of this as a community, and I think it's just really fun. Whatever the tool is, today's Cursor, tomorrow could be Apple's thing, tomorrow whatever it is. I'm bullish on AI, and we need to figure out, where are the boundaries? Where are we going to be going with this? And what can we do today? And then what's going to change in the future? One of the things that people think is like, well, why do I start now? Because in the future, something's going to code for me anyways. And that's not always the best approach to just, leave your life into someone else's hands. My theory is that like the more that you learn, everything kind of builds on top of each other. And with my small experience in the industry, 10 years plus, that everything just kind of continues to build on. And then, Ronald, looking back further, you've probably seen the same thing. It's just how concepts that you've learned back then are still repeated today, and they're not lost. In fact, they grow and
Yeah.
then enhance, and you're able to kind of connect more dots a lot quickly than other people. So I always encourage people to try to play here. So now
Yeah,
we
this is the
have
best way to keep up to date, right? I mean,
yes.
if you don't jump in now, you can jump in later, but things will be different. It will be more hard. It will be harder to catch up. Let me put it that way. So jump in now. Keep up to date by basically watching videos like ours, and just keep hacking.
Cool.
That
Yeah, so
I think
let's
that's
go
the
ahead.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I found this tweet yesterday
Okay.
from Moritz Kremp,
hmm
and
Make it a little bit bigger if you can. Yeah.
yeah, sure. Here we go. So I thought that it had some interesting tips, even though I didn't understand them all, and
Mm.
they are kind of how do you say this? Is like double negative. So bear with me. So he basically says 5 cursor beginner mistakes to avoid. The first mistake is using the AI pane instead of Composer. The
Mm.
way he's written this, I assume, is use Composer instead of AI pane.
hmm
The second is not saving your project enough. And in my very quick trial yesterday, I
hmm
understand what he means because you change code using AI quite often, or at least I did a few times, and then you can't go back to like the previous version if the previous version was better because there is no uh, real history of things, unfortunately, in Cursor yet, as far as I could see. Uh,
hmm
second, the third mistake to avoid is not including all files as context and using mention. So I understand what context is. I understand what mentioning is because it does like download things from the internet. I saw when you add a HTTP link. I don't know what the how the context works in Cursor, but we're going to find that out how that works. 4 is doing too many changes at once. I mean, yeah, that I can. And 5 is using Cursor for AI instead of V0. I have no clue what that means. I have absolutely no clue.
That's a good one.
So we're gonna find out what it means. But at least like the first few ones, I do understand, and I think those are great tips.
Cool. Yeah, let's pop open Cursor and
Yep.
take a look at the layout here. And
Cool.
so that you may have to move. Yeah, there you go. A little more to the right so that it's a,
oh yeah.
there we go.
I
Okay,
see.
yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So you basically have pulled up the MLX Swift Whisper package, and
Actually, I created that. It's just this morning.
oh, sweet.
So what I did is I created an empty project using Xcode. It's right here. So it's a package, a Swift package. If you're a Swift developer, you're familiar with that. It has like two targets. One is the one is here, is the library itself called MLX Swift Whisper. Not the best name, but it's the same idea as the MLX Whisper library that Apple provides for Python, but not for Swift. And there's a command line interface, or there will be command line interface to use the library and test it. And there's like a test target as well. But we'll figure out later how to do that. So what I did is I created a number of empty files.
Oh, if you want to move your Xcode window a little more to the center so that we can.
Sorry about that. Sorry.
It's my end too. It kind of crossed you the crops. Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Yes.
So we've got like a dozen files that match the existing MLX Whisper. Oh, oops, that is not this one. No, it is this one. Let me see how I get there. Whisper MLX Whisper. Here you go. So Whisper. We have to. Okay. Yeah. So this is what Apple provides as the Python version for Whisper MLX Whisper. It's Python code. It's not the most beautiful code, which is kind of a thing in Python, I think. But it works, and that's all that matters, I think.
And for those who are listening, it's really funny if you're kind of new to coding, or kind of you'll have people who are very experienced in development have their extremely strong opinions about how they should do code. And people who have been coding for a long time, especially like in one programming language, tend to frequently make fun of other programming languages. You'll see this a lot in JavaScript. You'll see a lot of PHP developers make fun of the other ones, and Levels.io famously,
so like everybody makes fun of PHP developers, but yeah.
Yes, yeah. And then if you're on the client side, it's so like you'll hear these undertones and like kind of like funny little banter, just to give you a heads up of like the context. It's all in fun. It's not necessarily that it is bad, or it's just opinions. And that's actually what code is. It's a very opinionated, very structured, logical thing. And when you press the run button, does it work? Yes. That's all that matters at the end. Yeah, sort of.
Nobody. I mean, no end user will ever see the code anyway. So
that's right.
If it works, if it works for you as a developer, use it, do it. I think there was this interview with Levels.io last week.
Yes.
I think basically the same thing. Just if it works for you. Just do it. And I have to say, I mean, I have developed in Python, not much, but I have developed in Python in the past. It is super fast, and I don't think there's any language that is able to develop things so fast as in Python. That's absolutely true. But yeah, it is. If I look at this like as a Swift developer, I'm like, oh, whoa, what is happening here? It is, not the easiest to read language.
Yeah, so maybe we can try to see. So, like, if you didn't have AI, I guess my question to you is like, how would you approach like trying to do this type of conversion? Like, what are some of the maybe steps and things?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I have done that in the past, and the thing is what you would do is basically like line for line or function for function, look at what it does and rewrite it. And to be
Mm,
very honest, I mean, again, as you said, developers making fun are always making fun of like language they're not familiar in, but in the end, all these languages are very similar.
hmm.
Sure, there are like differences. But in the end, you can always. I mean, there's not a thing you cannot do in one language you can do in another language. If you get what I mean, it is always very similar. So yeah, I would definitely like go file by file and just like look at the code, see if I understand the code, and convert it line by line. It's a lot of work if you want to do that, but it is possible to do it by hand. But now with AI, the question is, yeah, why would I do it uh, by hand if an AI can hopefully do this within minutes, maybe even seconds. So yeah, there is one thing that is kind of bothering me, and that's again a little bit like the interface that I see. It is not very Swifty, and that's something a mild critique to MLX as well, to MLX Swift. If you look at the MLX Swift code, it doesn't feel very Swifty. What I mean by that is if you have been developing in Swift for a longer period of time, you would do certain things differently. And I understand that they wanted to keep very close to the original Python version of MLX. But for a Swift developer who's not familiar with Python, it is a little bit like tricky now and then. However, there is a project called Whisper Kit. I've got it right here.
Mm,
Let me get the webpage of that as well. Here it is.
mm.
Let me
Yeah, make that a
increase it
little
a
bit bigger.
little
Yeah,
bit.
perfect. Hmm.
Yeah. So this is from a startup called yeah, Argument Max Inc. I guess how to read Arc Max Inc. And what they did, they created a completely Swift version of Whisper. No,
Wow.
not using MLX, but
Hmm.
using CoreML. So we talked about it
Mm,
earlier. It's the other like Apple framework that's out there, and got a huge like improvements in the upcoming versions of iOS and Mac OS this fall.
hmm.
So what's nice about this project, about WhisperKit, is that it feels really like this is a Swift project. This is made by people who
Wow.
have like experience in Swift. That's if you look at the code, it's clean, it's well documented, it is very
Mm,
nice. So
wow.
if you are a Swift developer without any AI experience, this
Mm,
is probably the one you want to look at. We're gonna. I mean, I would love to make a similar interface as WhisperKit has, and maybe we can do
mm-hmm,
that using Cursor. I don't know.
mm-hmm.
Again, we're just trying out new things we haven't done
Right.
before.
Mm,
But yeah, this is like an ultimate example of a AI framework that works for you if you don't have any AI experience at all.
mm-hmm.
It's very nice, and
So,
hopefully can.
what would be the differences between this Core ML version versus MLX? Which one's going to win out here? Is it do we have to do any other work to port models, or like what's the difference?
Yeah, that's
What's
a
one
good
going to get us
question.
over the other?
So there are a few differences. So first of all, both MLX and CoreML are Apple libraries. And there's definitely like an overlap when it comes to inference. But when it comes to training and all these things, I mean, yeah, CoreML has like tools for that, but I've used them. They're kind of a little bit limited. I think
Mm-hmm.
that in the end, you probably will see like a mix of both CoreML and MLX. And the advantage of of MLX is that the team is extremely fast, as I said, to create
I see.
updates.
Mm,
It's way faster than that. It's progressing way faster than Core ML is.
Hmm.
So I've been mostly focused on MLX since it came out, not as much as CoreML anymore. But yeah, I mean, CoreML has an advantage, and one advantage, and that is that it can use the Apple neural engine, which is
Mm.
the hardware accelerator, AI accelerator on every M and A chip, or probably even S chips on your Apple Watch, which MLX doesn't have access to. So that is the big difference. If that will make a huge difference in speed in practice, I don't
Hmm.
know. I don't know. I haven't seen like we. I think we have to wait until like iOS and macOS launch this fall, the new versions.
Yeah.
So we won't have like the beta code anymore, and
Hmm.
then I'd be super interested to see like how fast WhisperKit would be versus whatever we're making today, if
I
that will
see.
work at all in the end. So yeah, yeah,
So I'm just curious on my end. You said you liked the way that the WhisperKit project has been structured as far as like maybe the layout of the code or just the
yes,
paradigms that it's using. How would you describe that to someone who maybe is still kind of early in their coding career, and kind of in Swift development, there's like different patterns for developing and putting your code. So, like especially with backend people who are doing backend coding, saying, I always put these files in these specific directories, and it's just kind of the way they work. And
yeah,
especially with language models, if you have rules that are set, the more strict, and you say, okay, I always want X file or these types of things to be in here, or I always want my UI components to be in this type of folder, the LLM then starts to understand that really quickly and starts to do that for you. So, what is it about this maybe that you can describe in this repo that you like that maybe we can bring over to what you're trying to do?
hmm So think it's not necessarily like the folders, because the folders are extremely like basic. There's not a lot of files that are in this repo. But I think that if you look at this is like the excuse me, the main file of the repo called whisperkit.swift. So this is like the entry points basically. So it has like the class open, so you can extend it in your own application. And it has a number of public variables that are easy to understand, like model variant, model state, model compute, tokenizer. These are things that you can understand. You might not be familiar with these terms, but it's easier to understand than like in Python models. You'll see X and Y, where Y stands for label, or X. I don't even know, to be honest. So that makes it a lot easier to read than most Python AI Python code. And I'm not sure if there's any. I mean, it's a pretty basic API, to be honest. So if you're asking like the kind of objects format they're using, it seems pretty straightforward what they're doing.
Okay. Is
There's
there maybe
Yeah.
one thing that we can tackle in the Apple MLX repo that like if we can hit build and run and like get, at least the like one either function or one feature working, what do you think that would be?
Ooh, I don't know. So one thing, I'm not sure if I mentioned this. I'm also not super familiar with WhisperKit. So for me, this is all
Hmm.
like a lot of new things at the same time.
Okay.
For me, a success would be that we would be able to compile the code
Hmm.
without any errors or warnings. That will
Okay.
be like a huge first step. If we can do that,
Mm.
then we can
Okay.
think of. I mean, I probably would do it like this. Like first,
Hmm.
let's see if we can convert the code, port the code one to one from Python to Swift.
Uh-huh.
And if we can do that without any issues, within a
Got it.
reasonable amount of time, maybe we can tell Cursor like, "Hey, here's an example of
Yes.
a great interface,
Hmm.
WhisperKit.
Yes.
Now refactor the project
Okay.
to a similar, or maybe like best would probably be like exactly the same interface as
Hmm.
WhisperKit. So that would make
Mm.
extremely easy for projects to
Wow.
switch out depending on,
Yes.
on their use case, right?
That's a really good
So yeah,
idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Well, let's see how far we get. Let's see how far we get.
yeah. So let's go ahead and open up that MLX app in Cursor that you had, because maybe we can just use this as a way to just chat with the code base and ask some questions and maybe have it develop a plan. And then that's
Yep.
kind of what we'll use or something like that. So the MLX Whisper Python package, if you could just kind of move that a little bit more to the center.
Sorry. Yep.
Right there. Yeah. That's it. And then on the top right, there's a gear. And then to the left of the gear, there you'll see that pane to ask questions and stuff like that. Sorry, to the left of it, there's like a, yeah, that one. So that pops up in the chat.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we can do is there's a drop down that says cursor small in the chat there. Yeah, so that right there. Yeah. And so you just want to select Claude.
Claude.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Oh,
Claude is like the beast mode here. And so what we can do is maybe start off with a question to the repo, right? So
Yep.
I think the stuff that you want is basically everything in MLX Swift Whisper, right?
Yeah, can I stop you there for a moment? So,
Yeah.
going back to Morris's comment, his first thing was the first mistake beginners make is, he says, using AI pane instead of Composer. So I'm guessing this is the AI pane, isn't?
Yeah, and so what my thinking here is that like we'll start the conversation because we have a lot of questions. We don't know like how we should plan this, and we want to basically leverage the LLM as much as possible. And so we maybe have an approach in our head, but what I like to do, especially for prompting, is ask the LLM what it thinks, because then it's gonna give us its highest probability outputs for using its context. And so if we're it's like if you go to somebody who's a specialist and you tell them to work in their specialty in their zone, they're going to do a lot faster than telling them to work in your specialty in your zone because they may not be familiar. So I feel like, hey, let's just like use it as a consult first and then see if we can kind of get some information from it. And so there's a little
That's my understanding. There are different like ways to interact with the AI on Cursor. I have found. So one is the pane. Moritz mentioned the
Command Shift I. Yeah.
Command Shift I.
Yes, this is the composer view.
We'll get back to this later. And I had to watch a YouTube video to figure out how to open Composer, but isn't it Command Swift I?
Yeah, it's the full, and then Command I does the smaller version of it, and basically the difference between the two is basically that when you do Composer, whenever you give it instructions, it's like immediately going to take it and start to run. It's like a really anxious, think of it as a really anxious intern saying, hey, I'm thinking about this idea. And he just runs and implements it in your code right away and like says, here you go. I finished it. Where the chat gives us an opportunity to, just like you would use in Claude, is it'll spew out the things, and then if you want to actually implement them, you can actually apply the code. But it's more of like this continual conversation, and I want to use that to maybe see if we can develop a plan or a structure, and then maybe from there see if we can make a markdown file that can have our plan available. So like the markdown file will really just be for us to kind of keep track of, here's this mega plan, and then we can update it either by hand or tell the AI to update it. Right. Because remember how we talked about the approach of how maybe we would do it. And so what's one advantage is like if you make a plan file, we can feed that into the composer so that it can double check each part of the steps.
Is that how you do it? Okay, that's interesting. Okay,
it's just one approach. That's kind of
that's awesome. I love it. So there's another thing that I found, and that's Command K. Which brings another kind of AI window up front, which is not Composer, which is not Pane, but is something else.
If you're using the terminal, Command K, you can ask saying, what's the git command to like push, or what's the git diff command? And then, or if you're in the code base, Command K will then allow you to ask questions of that section of code. And then you can say, hey, can you open, here's this Whisper class. Can you then just make sure that it uses, a function in whatever this is? and then please add this feature to it, and then it'll just iterate really
That's this.
quickly. And like, yeah, so like it's more for a focused section, so you can either highlight a section of code and hit Command K and tell it to fix it, or you
Yeah.
can say add this feature, or this is crashing every time I do this, and here's the output for my
Right.
bug.
Right.
And it's like, oh yeah, this is always coming up as nil. Let me just add some guard, and let me add some more error checking to the function. So, or you can write, write me a unit test based off this function. So Command K was more like hands-on crafting type of stuff. So
Yeah. Does it have like access to the context of like the composer and the chat pane, or are
it
these
does.
three different like it does? Okay.
Yeah, it'll have access to your build logs and other things, and it will have some. It may have access to the chat. I forget. I don't want to say yes. I think.
Let's figure it out. I mean, that would be
Yeah.
interesting to know.
Yeah. So I thought we would use the chat first, maybe to hit the little. There's a plus sign there for the chat, and right there. So that lets you add files in. So what I would do is just add the files that are currently in that folder in MLX Whisper. So they just type in those files names like audio.swift.
Well, I don't want to enter all of them. Can we just drag and drop them or something?
Are there maybe no? Okay.
No, I don't know. So
Or did you want
I would love to
to? How
see-
big is the repo? Let me see. Is it just those files?
it's not that big. Yeah.
Oh,
what I
okay.
would like to
Oh,
see
you know
is-
what? Instead of doing that, we could
is-
just do at codebase just to talk to the codebase. Yeah.
Okay, how do we do that?
So we'll ask our question, and then yeah, or you could just type in dots. Hit the plus sign. If
Okay.
and then I just type in .swift.
Oops.
And then you
I
could just
see, I
check mark
see.
them, because I don't think there's that many files, right? Yeah.
Oh god, I have to check them all.
That way it just, you don't have to. I find it kind of nice to have it
Yeah,
in
and-
its context, but because we're going to be asking it basically everything about the repo. So for this chat session, these files will be in its context. And so we're going to go ahead and hit done.
Click
Yeah.
and then select all. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, that'd be a good feature.
Yes. Oh wow! Now my
Um,
whole interface is.
Make it a little bit wider if you want. Yeah. On the left side between the code, yeah, you should be able to stretch it out. Okay.
Yeah.
So what we want to
One
ask
thing I
it.
noticed is it automatically goes back to Cursor's
Yeah,
role
that,
after
that's so
this.
weird. I don't understand.
yeah.
It usually sticks. Oh, we may have to change the default setting later. So yeah, I think here you're gonna want to ask it that you want to convert this. Wait, this is not the Swift repo. This is not the MLX.
This is the Swift repo. This is the empty Swift repo.
Oh, empty. Oh,
So, yeah. So what we
My
could
bad.
do. So this is a question actually for you, or maybe this is a question actually for the AI. What would be the easiest way? Is can we like just drag and drop all the files from the Python version to the Swift project?
Yes.
And just ask the AI. Yeah.
yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I actually, my bad. I actually confused the two right now. The Swift project versus the MLX project, which I thought these were the MLX files. Of course it's not. Yes. But yeah,
Well,
go
it's
ahead and
that's Swift.
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So I would just
So,
drag the files you want. Yeah. If it's just
so
MLX
these
Whisper,
Yeah.
you can just drag the folder. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be actually maybe.
I
that will
think.
go
Yeah.
home.
That roof. Yeah.
Folder.
Into sources maybe.
Oh, yeah, probably.
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah.
Does that work?
Mm,
Yeah, that works. Yep.
Okay.
I've got it.
okay. Cool. All right.
Yep.
All right. Cool.
Okay,
Nice.
but now I'm going to add these files as well, I guess.
So you know what? I think this is perfect for a project. So remember that composer view we talked about? Let's just go ahead and open that instead of the chat.
Okay, that was Shift Command I. Yeah.
Yes. And then where it says create new at the bottom left, go ahead and click that. And it's going to pop up two different things. And it says new project. Yes.
Project.
So we're going to call this the Great Conversion.
Yeah. The Great Conversion. I love it. The Great Conversion. Version. Okay.
Cool. So there's focused files.
Well,
And so these are the
what
ones
is-
that are...
What is a new project, by the way?
Oh,
Is
so a
that
project
lots of
is like...
projects for single projects?
Yeah, so like in this case, since we want to always reference those Python files, like in its context, so that whenever you ask questions, it'll know where to reference them from, so you don't have to keep including them for all of your different things.
Right. So this is point three of Moritz, not including all files as context and using mention. This is the way to
Yeah,
add all the files to the context.
this is sort of a new feature that people are still exploring slash playing around with, but
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
equivalent of this is actually using Claude projects if you haven't done that yet. So projects is a paid feature from Claude that will allow you to put in files from your code base up to I think 150,000 tokens or something. So you can only put in so many files, and this is kind of their interpret. So the where it says focus files, hit that little plus, and this is the ones that are going to be like, since we're always going to ask questions, so you can type in basically the MLX stuff. I think so.
Yeah. So we have the pie.
Dot Python, yeah, or dot Py, yeah. So yeah, the files that
Again, we
you
have to
feel,
click every
yeah.
single file. Oh my
Luckily, you
God.
only have to do it once, but because
Yeah.
this is specific to this project. And so what's nice about projects is whenever we want to go back and talk to those files, we'll have them in that context all the time and ask a new question so that we don't have to
Oh,
keep doing that for every chat window, which is kind of nice, actually. I
yeah.
think that's all the Py files, right?
Yeah. But we also want Swift symbol.
Not necessarily yet. We want to,
No?
because
Okay.
we're going to just leave those for the Python for now.
But that's good because I can't add them. So for whatever
Yeah, yeah.
reason.
It's okay. So I think it says, "What do you want to build?" And then this is kind of where we describe what our goal is. Basically, is to use the convert the MLX Swift that are written in the .py
Okay.
Python files.
So we're going to say
Yeah,
like convert the Whisper MLX Python.
and then you can
Or
do the at
what
folder, like at what? Yeah,
in how
I
do we
think
do that folder? Package that is I have this is not
at
very
I think it's
clear.
called Whisper W. Just type in the
Yeah,
folder name. Yeah,
I
Whisper.
don't see the folders here. I only see the
Okay.
file. If that's
Yeah. It may already recognize since it has the py stuff. With yeah, port the
it does
Whisper.
say here use add to mention files. It doesn't say use add to mention directory. So maybe you can only mention files.
Okay, maybe yeah, that's okay.
The
Um,
preferred, yeah, the Python files to Swift using MLX Swift.
mhm. And then update the
Uh,
Python python for the
yep,
yeah.
got it. And I have actually. Where is my file? Nope, that's not the file I'm looking for. Ah, this is so. There is enlarge this
Oh
a
wow,
document.
sweet.
How to convert Python MLX to Swift MLX or MLX
Damn, that's
Python to
awesome.
Swift.
Mm.
So use this document for reference. And why can't I?
You at your at oh, cop. Oh, I see.
What is this?
Uh,
Oh, my Markdown link. Oh, sure.
oh no,
Oh, damn. What the fuck?
what
Oh,
happened?
my. Of course, the
Oh yeah.
errors.
Oh
The errors are
are
presented
outside of the
behind
pane.
the
Yeah.
window. Oh god.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. So if you
Hey,
do
we go back.
Command Shift
So,
I, you'll go back. Yeah, yeah.
yep, this is why I'm going back. But I still can't. Why can't I do this?
Right click
What
and
was it
paste or
for
something.
again? Uh,
Plain text.
Serious, what does that even mean? AI editor box,
Okay.
whatever.
Yeah.
Again, we copy
So
this.
here I have. If we should probably just save this documents into Markdown so that way we can reference it.
Sure. Yeah.
I'll show you how to do that.
What do we do?
MD. I have this cool. So my friend Dravia, who has this cool app called Super Memory. Let me see. How should I? I'll send this over to you in the interview chat. Let's see if I can do this. Can you see this? Are you able
Yep.
to copy and paste this? Okay.
Yeah. That's our. Okay. What do we do with that?
So go ahead and pull up that website, separate from this
Oh,
window,
okay.
just yeah. So what this thing is called, it's called Markdowner, and you can basically turn your stuff into Markdown. Cursor has a way of doing this, and so I just wanted to get people a heads up of this. But before we do this, I thought we would try maybe the cursor approach, and if that doesn't work, we can try this approach to see which one's going to win out. But the goal of this is basically this Markdown or website will take any website and convert it to Markdown. And he wrote this cool thing, and this could be useful for the future because this is something that Dravia is using in when people save bookmarks, he's able to then index them basically using this process. He does find that extremely helpful in terms of asking the LLM questions about Markdown, like documents and stuff. So I thought I would just share this, and maybe I'll put this in the chat for people as well so they can reference this a little bit later, about a place to get this. And it's an open source repo. You can actually clone it and run it on your own Cloudflare instances. So if we go into let's go ahead and kind of hit the X right now for the project so that it's kind of minimized. Or hit Command-Shift-I, I think it'll just, yeah. And so let's go into the little gears section at the very top right corner there. We'll close those errors. And then we can kind of hide the chat for now on the side there. To hide the chat is next to the, okay. So here, we're going to have where it says, I think, under, is it documents? Yes, keep scrolling down. I think there's a section for documentation. Maybe in their models. I think it's under models. Yeah, scroll down. There's features, maybe. Oh yeah, docs. So it says add new doc at the very top of this. Scroll up. Yeah, and it says a blue button. Yeah. So yeah. So here, and then let's go ahead and, that's the wrong one. Yeah. Let's go back here. Yes.
Where did I have it? Here.
I think it's, this is the one that you want. Yes.
Yep.
And then hit this. Cool. I hit enter. And it's going to ask you for a name. So MLX Swift. You can just name it something useful because you're going to always call this when you do the @ symbol.
Yeah. Oh, yes. So, okay. So this is like a document that will be included every time with every project, or every how to say it, every time. This is basically like becoming a system prompt, like kind of reference.
Yeah, like you can @ symbol it, and then it's basically like grabbing the Markdown or whatever I actually don't know what it's doing behind the scenes, but theoretically, that's kind of what it would be doing there. And then if you hit the little, I think it's still indexing right now. Okay, and then is there a refresh button down below?
Oh, it is the code is being indexed. There don't think there's any refresh.
So I think we're okay for now. Let's just go ahead and let it do its thing because it's gonna keep doing.
And
I don't know why it's red.
Does it check all the links in these files, because there's a lot of documentation.
No,
here,
it's not recursive, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Because that would be amazing. But there are people I've heard that have made scripts that make it recursive, which could be super helpful.
Yeah, that would be super helpful. Yeah, definitely.
But we may have to feed them in per our plan or whatever that comes up. So
well, I did hear Prince said on Twitter that Claude is aware of MLX, so it has the MLX documentation. I don't know if it has the Swift MLX or MLX Swift documentation. So at least there's that.
Okay, so it's trying to index stuff. Nice. If we scroll down a little bit, the docs are probably still being indexed as well. So
it only has red dot, which might mean something, but maybe not. I'm not sure.
So it's still okay. So one of the things that we can quickly do is create our own index while we wait for this. Usually it's really fast because we're just starting out this project, but since we're kind of in a hurry, not in a hurry, but I want to create our own markdown file for this because this could be used for the future anyways, huh?
Yeah. So what would a markdown file help here?
Yeah, because we would just feed it in. So this is for installation, but you had a specific one for
Oh,
converting.
just hard copy. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yes, yes,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
So
Let's go ahead and give
we'll
it that
make it.
URL, right? Yeah. Good. Convert to Markdown. Yeah. And so it's running its process up above, and then we'll see it. Boom. So you can basically save this into a Markdown file in your repo.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. That's
And then we're just gonna call it.
Yep. Developer projects. It's called this sources. Where are we gonna do this?
You can create a new folder called something, like documentation or something. Yeah.
Let's give this a
Something.md. Yeah.
Ports MLX to Swift.md. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
So now if we go back into Cursor and then we can close this now. It's going to be doing its thing. And Command-Shift-I would bring up the composer view in the full screen.
Yep.
There we go. And then what we want to do is maybe put that into that there as well. Yes. Yeah. And type in...
search file MD.
Oops. Wow. Type in the name of the file.
Oh.
Okay.
Why is it
That's
so...
weird. Oh.
Yes,
Interesting.
Just give me something to navigate. This is so... I mean, these are not buttons, it seems.
Type in a file name, like it's called documents or convert.
Yeah, what was the file name again? Documentation is port MLX.
Port, yeah.
Command-Shift-I. This port MLX. Nope. I can't.
Okay. How about we say instead of use this document for reference in the instructions, we're just going to put the @ symbol there. Use this document for reference.
You know what? Why don't we just copy and paste it? I mean, we have Claude anyway.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There we go.
Okay. Oh yeah, perfect. Okay. Port the MLX. Okay. I think that's it, right? So we're going to go ahead and hit new composer where it's at the very bottom right now. So that will basically start a new composer window using all this context here. There you go.
Okay, I have no clue what that means.
Okay, so what that does is now we're going to basically, we've put all this context into a chat window, which is this composer window down below. And so this is going to,
okay.
Yeah. And then go ahead and close that little thing up above. This is new code instructions that you, So this is where we give it the instructions for what we want to do. And so in essence, we would just sort of say, hey, I want you. Yes.
Okay. So the previous window was kind of a system prompt. That's kind of what we did. So
there you go.
The command, if I did this is the system prompt of the project.
Yes.
It's got the files that are relevant, even though some of the files are not there because of the interface or whatever reason. This, I don't know.
So each chat window will have its own like questions that you want to ask. They're called composers. So if, for example, like you're trying to do this all in one go, let's just see if it can even do something in one go. And so we're going to try to touch as many files and do everything as much as possible. And then, for example, if then we need to kind of break down and just say, let's go ahead and work on convert py, and then let's kind of flesh this out. Then we would hit a new composer window, and then we would just say, now help me just focus on this convert.py file, and let's focus it on the Swift. So, yeah.
So this is how we can like the second step is add like, hey, we want to like improve the interface. This is the link to a Whisper kit, and then use that. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. So the first now, I think now is going to be about like kind of generating the prompt, right? So in one of your composer windows, here you go. And so here we're going to basically say something to the fact that you've already started a project structure, or the goal here is to convert the, what's the name of that file that you have for MLX Swift Python?
The port, but that's an system prompt, right?
Yeah.
But hey, I have a question, because like the files I see here are different than Swift command I. I see
Hmm.
here, but that doesn't matter, right? Because this is in the system prompts. I don't have to think about these ones.
Correct.
Uh, but this is good. So actually, I want to probably add
Yeah.
all the script files here.
Sure. Yeah, because that's where you
Oh
want
yeah.
to put them into. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And I have
Yeah.
to click them all one by
Yeah.
one because that's
Yeah.
how the system works. Okay. Oh,
Yeah. There
package.
was another. I was going to do add code base, but then yeah, you can hit done. That way,
Yeah.
it's a
Let me
little
see
bit
if there's
more
no.
focused, though. Yeah. Yeah.
No, it should
I
be in
think.
there. The test we don't need right now. Oh, yeah, maybe we do need a test. We can also add a test. Why not?
Mhm.
I'm not sure where that's out in Python. Yeah, okay.
Cool. So in here, yeah. And so I think you just want to tell it that you've already set up a project structure for MLX Swift Whisper, and that your goal is to convert the MLX, Python stuff into Swift.
Mhm.
And then we're going to also reiterate for it to reference the documentation on the best practices for porting Swift using the at document, and then we'll just give it that document. Yeah.
X Swifts with as described in, and then we can probably do add. Oh, hey.
Oh, yes.
This we didn't have in the real, the big
That's right.
composer. So
Right. Yeah.
why not? Why not?
Y-
So now, hey, what?
I think you can give it a folder at this
This
point. At folder.
folder.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
what does this mean?
MLX.
What kind of interface is this?
Oh,
I
sources. You can give it the folder name.
oh, so,
What's
no, you can't.
Yeah,
No,
yeah. Go back. Yeah.
that is,
And
yeah.
it's not completely, the GUI is may not have been completely indexed. There's probably
Oh
another
yeah. Who came
as
up with
well.
this?
So
This,
yeah.
this
But
can be
just type
a
in the folder
whole
name, see if it
dialogue.
pops up. Yeah. Do you know the folder name by any chance? On
I
the left side?
documentation.
Uh,
Oh, documentation. There it is. Yep,
yeah,
yep.
yeah.
You can
Okay.
search. Okay, cool.
Okay. Or I would just call the file directly since it's just
Okay.
one less thing. You know what I mean? Import. Yeah.
Port Swift. Oh, sorry. Port
Yeah.
like that.
There you
That
go.
was it.
Perfect.
So this document is now twice. It's already like in the system prompt. Again, Swift command I. We
Yeah.
copied it in the system prompt, and we're referencing it again here. So wait,
Yeah.
what the fuck happened to my? Ah,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah,
fucking
yeah.
hell.
Oh, wow.
Uh,
Today we learned. Oh, wait, hold on. Go back into
yeah.
Command Shift I.
Command Shift I. Yeah.
So on the left, where it says port the
Oh,
whisper, there. Yep. So each of your
oh, I
sessions,
see.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So in essence, this kind of, the other one is a little bit out of the way. This is kind of like the full screen view. You can
Okay.
go to Untitled Composer at the top. Let's just go ahead and if you just hover your mouse over to that one, you'll see a trash
Yeah.
can, and we'll just go ahead and delete that one. To the right, there's a trash can to next to
No.
Composer. Yeah. Okay. Don't. Yeah. Okay. And then down
Yeah.
below under Untitled, that one, go ahead and delete that one, just so that you can
So
see it
which one
again.
is this
Yeah.
one?
Yeah. There you go.
Is that
Yeah.
going to
Perfect.
the right hand
Yeah.
menu?
Cool.
Okay.
Phew. Yeah. Support the Whisper Python files to Swift using MLX Swift as described in port MLX Swift. Um,
Oh, and use the files
yeah.
uh, to
Or that you've already
in
started the.
the Swift files in folders. This one? All right.
Yeah. 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 Okay. Cool. Is there any
Yeah.
other rules or things that we should tell it to do? Like other preferences, rules, things that you liked about the MLX Swift. It's just so at a first go it has enough to go with. Like I feel like the more descriptive we are, they can like behave better or have better guidance.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I'm not sure if um, I'm kind of really like want to hit answer
Okay,
and see
let's just
what
go.
will happen.
Yeah, let's go. YOLO, my friends.
Okay. So I hit ensor. Yep.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, generating. Okay. Good.
Let it cook. So while it's cooking, my friends, let's go ahead and catch up a little bit on the chat. And so for those who are just tuning in, what we're basically doing right now is we're trying to port a Python framework over into Swift. And the one we've specifically chosen is with the Apple MLX related, and we want to be able to ship our apps in the App Store without shipping Python, to the client. And there is a version that's already available using CoreML, but the other advantage of MLX is the fact that there's a lot of active development going on with that. And so people like Prince Kanuma, who make these models available, the goal is to maybe one day be able to put that on devices so that we can have them available for iOS and watchOS and whatever the platforms we choose here. Yeah. So, people were commenting about Montana and stuff, and I appreciate the comments that are coming through. I think we talked a little bit about using Perplexity over Claude because of the search functionality. We're just starting the project, and so we're just kind of getting into prompting right now. And so we're just trying to see if we can, we have a skeleton ready and see if we can get the cursor to try to see if we can generate the code. And we've been able to grab some of the markdown documents to feed it in there. Oh, cool. Yeah, thank you, Santi. We're trying to learn together and trying to, we're as people who are doing development of software, it's really important to basically come together and share whatever information we have. This is all still new to us, and I'm not going to pretend to know everything. So do we need to use @codebase again and again in the same chat, or just once? I find that I use it once. You would only use it if you're maybe going to reference something that's not in those files that are referenced at the top. We haven't used it yet, but that's probably something we're going to get into in the stream. Mark, hey. Hey, y'all. How's it going? So yeah, if you wanted to drop some comments, go ahead and do that there. So let's go ahead and review what's going on. Let's go ahead and make your screen a little bit bigger down to the bottom for your MLX so we have a little bit more to scroll to. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. So what happened, Ronald?
Higher. So what I'm seeing is basically like a how would I say it, a chat app response. And I'm kind of a little bit surprised because, again, I did a very quick project for the first time yesterday evening, and I got like different files that were added in the left pane and changed. And I don't get that now. So I'm not exactly sure why that is, why I'm not seeing the same thing as I saw yesterday. So again, like the interface is absolutely confusing, and I understand that they're shipping as fast as they can, but the interface is confusing to me. But yeah, it seems that it took the Whisper .py file.
Oh, started with that. Okay.
Yes, and it converted it to Swift. So you can see we talked about earlier about like how nice WhisperKit names all the variables. As you can see here. This is like literally, of course, the Python naming conventions. It doesn't mean anything to me. So that's something we can improve later.
Refactor. Okay.
But,
yeah.
Yeah. So it's
so if we scroll down, this is the code that it generated, and if we keep going, but beyond this, did it mention anything about it wanting to apply the code, or let's see what else it said? So it just took the file and converted the first one, right? Scroll down more, all the way to the bottom.
Yeah. And one thing that I see here already is like the add available Mac OS 13. This is necessary, but apparently it didn't read we didn't add the package.swift. I think I excluded it. Maybe I should have like.
Oh, I see. Oh, for the context. So this is a basic structure.
Whoa,
some of the functions
is incomplete. Oh wow, this is interesting.
Yes, maybe we have to add that into our prompt or into follow-up sessions here, because we fed it in a lot of context. So I think we ate up a lot of tokens at the first go, because we're trying to figure out how do we do this, right? Like,
right.
And the key here sounds like it may be even trying to make it smaller, but we'll see. I think. I think we should, that's the whole point of interpreter or composer mode, is to just have it keep going. So to complete the port, we need to implement the missing helper functions. Okay. And so.
Yeah, any other files, yes, yeah.
Yeah, I think what could be interesting would be to tell it to go ahead and start creating or writing the code and implementing it, make sure it's complete and thorough. And for stuff that you aren't able to implement, please generate a project plan .md file so that we
Okay.
can understand what still needs to be done. So in essence, we're just telling it to do as much as possible, and then whatever's left over in the project files, that's what we're going to just keep using to tell the LLM to like, hey, you still have to do this, and then go
Right.
ahead and update this file. We shouldn't necessarily have to do that, but I do find it sometimes if I go to the bathroom or I close the
Mhm.
file, I come back, I've had this long session. And then the other part of it is when we do check it into our project with Git, we have this ongoing like history, right? Of like, what has evolved over time. And so
Yes.
it's like
Yes.
talking to your
Yeah.
project
Yeah.
manager
Yeah.
and saying, what happened a week ago? And they're like, oh yeah, this is what we did. So
Yeah. Yeah.
we can kind of use it as our little hack for now. Maybe that way. Shout out to the 1,873 people who are on X streaming with us. That's just really amazing. And everyone who's been able to like, retweet, and do all that stuff, super duper amazing. Extremely thankful. This is really great. And the 28 people who are currently viewing on YouTube as well, and one person currently viewing on Twitch. So cool. And so we're basically doing this conversion of, can we do Swift development? This is going to be really fun. So you said you wanted to add one more file as a package.swift. So let's go ahead and hit that plus sign maybe to add that in, right?
Yep. Okay, there
Package.swift.
it is.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the prompt here is maybe just telling it to like go and implement the code, and
Okay.
for
Implement code
the
in
code and
Whisper.swift and
oh,
what,
you can
Ray?
do instead of whisper.swift, you can do the at symbol so that it knows that you want to use
Oh
that
yes,
file.
of course.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's really nice.
yeah, yeah. You can
Whisper.swift.
hit
Yep. Yeah, that's
yeah,
really nice actually. Yeah. Yeah.
and make sure that it is complete
Yeah.
for and then you hit period, I guess. Yeah, yeah. For the project that how to say, I want you to write out the details for the project plan in a project.md file. So we can understand what code needs to be implemented so that we can successfully port this entire project, I guess.
The port the projects. Okay.
Yeah, submit.
Oh,
Let's
hey.
go.
You cannot click
Oh, yeah.
on a.
Oh, maybe. I wonder if
We're
there's a bug
finding all
with.
kind of bugs. This.
Yeah. I wonder if there's.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead and submit. Let's go. Yeah,
Okay.
because usually it'll start to touch the files. Let's see. Let's go.
Okay. Oh,
'Cause
it added the available at macOS 13, so it didn't take the project file into account. But that's fine. That's. I mean, it's not an error. So.
Yeah. Interesting. So right now it's basically just using Claude Sonnet 3.5 to generate the code, and for the folks who are just tuning in, we basically are undertaking this massive thing to port this Python project into Swift. And there's a lot of files, and we've been able to feed in a lot of files. We've been also able to go and index some of the documentation on how to port stuff from Python to Swift, and put that in its context to see if we can use that as a reference while it's generating the code. And what we're utilizing today for the folks who are just joining in, who are using Cursor, as the new projects feature. So with the projects feature, it's supposed to sort of emulate the projects feature that we use on Claude, to feed in like large amounts of code blocks and various things that we like to use in the context, and then work specifically to get these files shipped. And so I'm kind of thinking that maybe if this doesn't work out or whatever, we may just start a new chat, but with one specific file, if you know what I mean. So that way, it's a little bit more focused and has less context on the other files that are not necessary, but we'll see. Like, the whole goal of this is to do an exploration for those who are just tuning in. And so what we're trying to understand here is like, how much can it do? What are the limitations of the LLM? Where is it breaking? As experienced developers, we want to truly understand that. And I think everyone's trying to do this exploration right now. It's just still so new. There's a lot of promotions of like, this cursor thing can change your life. And that's not really what we're trying to promote here. We're trying to explore and play, push the limits, push the boundaries, ask questions, learn together, and share, and use this stream as a way to share. Because Swift is completely like not really talked about a lot in Cursor, because a lot of the focus tends to be on like non-iOS development, because everything's usually focused on Xcode. So we're hoping that this can be an interesting challenge to push the boundaries, learn a lot, and with Ronald being a multi-decade developer and having have an app in this app store that he uses with Swift and all this cool stuff, you'll be able to spot these things. And we're trying to see if there's maybe any specific prompting or any types of skills that we can bring together within Cursor to try to make this happen, because the AI features aren't currently available yet to the public for Xcode. I think it may be available for some developer previews, but everything we hear is that it's a little bit slow. So it looks like right now it's actually generating a project plan for us. That is pretty cool, actually.
Yep, it knows
Wow.
the files. That's awesome. Is it done?
That's amazing.
It's
It's green. Wow.
Yeah, but where is my file? Did it already?
So let's hit the little X at the very top right. It should have read the file. So like in here, I don't see the files written at all. Huh.
No. So
go ahead and go back to here saying I don't see the code in my files. Can you please put it in my yeah.
So
yeah, because usually you'll just fill it in right away.
What if we do
Cursor you're asking
small, because Cursor small probably has some information about like how. Oh, okay. Oh God, I know.
Yeah, I would use the Sonnet.
Yeah, that's what I want to ask Cursor small if it knows how. The same question again, and maybe.
I think you did.
My assumption is maybe it knows more about Cursor than Sonnet. Oh, I don't see the code in my files. Let's see what it says.
I think there's a bug here.
No, that doesn't.
Wow. Yeah, there is a bug here. Because usually it just writes the file.
Right.
Whoa.
That's what I would expect, right?
Oh, man.
So I have seen it do that, actually writing the file yesterday, a Swift file. So I know it works because I saw it on the left side. There were like updated list of updated files, which was really great.
Yeah, this is fun in the FUN type of way. Yes, totally.
Yeah, I mean it's
yeah.
new. So we'll
I think it's a little frustrating that fact that it's not writing the file, because that's usually what it does. Is like what it does is generates the diff, and then it allows us to even try to see if we can apply the file. But I don't even see that in the UI at all. Maybe hit Command- to make it smaller. I wonder if there's something that's not showing up at the bottom. Yeah, no, I don't see anything else popping up. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, let's zoom back in again so we can see.
Okay.
So right now it's just trying to generate the code, right? Or regenerating the code.
Yeah.
But it's not applying it.
Like ChatGPT or something. Yep, there we go. Another file. But yeah, it's not applying it. So if anybody knows who's watching this, why this is happening, please leave a comment. Again, this is the second day I'm working with Cursor, and yesterday was just like.
I wonder if they fixed the bug with this. Dang. Okay, so I think what we should
Pretty
do
good.
is grab the code that was written out from Claude Sonnet. I trust that code more than their small model. It's for, to be honest. Yeah. Because let's see, before you said implement the code.
Oh,
Go down.
what the hell?
Is this the one from Sonnet? Let's go ahead and go down.
Well, we don't know because it doesn't say so,
Yeah. So
right?
I don't see the code in my files. And then we had
Oh,
asked it.
okay.
Yeah, this is the one from Sonnet. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
grab that one and just
I'm going to just go back quickly
yeah.
because
Okay.
otherwise I'll forget that. So this is
Yeah.
the original code.
You should be able to command A it. So like maybe I think.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
What is it?
Copy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's just
Okay, good.
that block. Yeah. And then hit the X and then go into here and just YOLO. Damn.
Okay.
And then we also want to make that MD file that's listened for the project manager.
Yep.
Command Shift I to go back in,
I
and then project MD scroll. Yeah, grab that one. Yeah, it's a nice project plan. I like how it has like week 1 to 2. It's like we're gonna do this all in like one hour. Yeah.
add file.
To add the file, by the way, go up. Where's MLX SW at the top?
Oh.
There's like a plus file, and there's a plus folder to the left. Whoops.
Yeah.
Right there. Yeah. So it will add the file to wherever you're selected. By the way, so if you select the thing out of the tree, it'll add the file. Yeah.
Yep.
And in here, boom. So let's review this. What do you think?
The code.
Or the MD file. Yeah, let's review the code. Yeah, let's take a look at the code. Yeah, actually, let's look at the project MD, and then let's see how the LLM is thinking about this, and then review the code. I was just curious. So let's take a look at the project file that it wrote out. Right below the area. Yeah.
It lists the classes. That's actually pretty good. The helper functions. Implement any necessary. Oh yeah. Okay. I mean, it has definitely looked at the functions and the methods, the classes in the files, the Python files. So yeah, this looks actually all pretty good to be honest. This is this is kind of ridiculous. All these timelines. It's AI. This should not be week 7. It should be minute 7 or hour 7 at most.
That's right. No, but it's replicating humans. This is exactly what a project manager plan looks like. Wow.
Yep. Text.
Cool.
It looks good. Looks good.
So far, ladies and gentlemen,
did this.
the X, cool. Yeah.
So I guess you can also ask it then to update this file every time it creates like a new file, which is
exactly
awesome, really
yeah. So kind of why I wanted to get this. Maybe hit save to save the project. By the way, just in case something happens, Command S or whatever. It's like file save or something.
Command F. I don't know if it saves.
I think it's Command S. Yes, save all.
Yeah, option Command S
cool.
to save all files.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we don't want to lose anything. So the goal, for those who are just tuning in, what we're trying to do is convert this massive Python project from MLX Swift, the Whisper project, or from MLX Python into to Swift. And that's a pretty massive undertaking. Its converting project takes forever, and most people don't do it, but we're really anxious to do this because there's a lot of benefit and upside to use these MLX models on Swift devices, which are shipping to iPhones, watches, Mac OS, and so forth, and Vision OS as well. And so there's huge upside for us to do this. And so we said, hey, is Cursor up for the task? And what we've been able to utilize is the new projects feature to try to dump in as much context as possible with one attempt to try to maybe see if we can start to do it. And we're also trying to discover what the limits are for these language models, what they're bumping into. And then this is also from an approach with Ronald, who's primarily has used Xcode and has never really used VS Code, if very little. And so there's a lot of learning about the UI. And so we hope that, like, if you're tuning in, that you may be able to take something away as far as like, oh, I didn't know that you could do that, or these types of commands can do that, or maybe a prompting technique that you can take away as well. And so I'm going to try to have these timestamps and markers available, and also sections where there's breaks where we have to interact with the people who have commented. So if you have any questions, queue them up in the comments, and I'm going to go ahead and try see if I can answer them during our break. Or if there's something that's pressing and urgent, I can try to see if I can pull it right in. There's definitely a way to do that. And so for those that are just tuning in, my name is Ray Fernando, and I used to be a developer, engineer at Apple actually for the last for 12 years, and currently on my own doing AI stuff and exploring and just hanging out with my friends here online, streaming to share with you the joy and passions that I've been playing with AI. And in the last, I'd say 6 months or more, I've been prompting a lot and trying to really understand the behavior of these models and trying to push the limitations of what they can or can't do. And I like to see if where I can steer and guide them. So Cursor has been an interesting application to kind of pull in the AI stuff to make it really real. I'm not like agnostic. We're not sponsored by any of these people. This is literally us trying to, as much as possible, utilize AI to our advantage, and hopefully that you can pick something up here during our stream as we learn together and prompt together and have something to take away. We're not trying to sell you anything. This is literally us hanging out as if you're hanging out with us. I'm currently on vacation right now in lovely Montana and have the outdoors vibes. So please excuse any geese noises or things that may show up in the stream as well. So yeah, Ronald. We're both actually based out of the Bay Area, just FYI, for those who are there and stuff. So definitely appreciate the comments that are rolling in. So thank you so much for this. Makes engineering approachable. Yeah, that's what it's all about. Somebody was there for me when I was young to show me a computer, and that was like probably their biggest mistake because I was always at their house all the time on their computer more than they used it. And that's how I knew I had a love for this type of technology. I'm just now sharing my passion in public, which is really, really awesome. And so, so far where we're at this project now, so the first phase was trying to figure out a project plan, trying to see if the AI can do everything in one shot, as everything, like how good are these models and can it actually do it? It's a very big project, and we're just said, let's just hit enter, stop, and let's just put as much as we can in and just hit enter and see what it does. And then in my previous experience with working these language models, I do find it useful to write out these little markdown files to have it keep track of, what is the project. I want to see what the language model has thought about. And by having it write down into a file, we can see its thought process and also see where it's at in this process, which helps us to pick up the pieces or modify the project as needed, saying, hey, I noticed it's missing this one class. We should probably take a look at that or have it review different things. And so usually when you feed it in a whole bunch of stuff, a lot of the times it doesn't have a lot of capacity, just like a human, to keep everything in its head. So like we're trying to very broadly define the scope, and then we're going to start to go really deep and narrow as we go into the stream to like maybe specific sections, files, and try to work with this iteratively. But the first plan is just to kind of get everything laid out as we're kind of doing here, and then you're going to see firsthand like what are the limitations of some of these models as well. Because we're very curious. I'm very curious to see. So we're hoping that this can help us here. So why Swift and not Python? It seems like it locks developers into iOS, which is only a small part of the world. Would be very interested in understanding the advantages. That's a very good question, Will. I think there's a huge actual Swift development community, and with Apple environment, we don't like to discriminate. In essence, there's people who have been doing Swift for over a decade plus, like Ronald has, and has been shipping apps and has a lot of actual customers that are paying to support these types of things. And Apple has written out almost like hundreds of millions of dollars to developers as far as how much money each of these developers have made out to in the App Store. And so we're not like specifically pitching specific languages. I'm not like a hardcore Swift developer. In fact, I'm actually trying to do not Apple stuff myself. Having worked at Apple, I'm actually saying I'm going to learn front end and back end as a way to expand my mind and think about things a little bit differently and see things from a different perspective. And so here is mostly because Ronald has been working a lot with Swift. A lot of people have actually asked questions like, hey, can I use Swift with Cursor? And we thought, hey, this would be a fun project because I'm using AI a lot. I write stuff in Python. I love writing in Python. It's super fast and easy to learn. And then like you can make a lot of things, but I do want to get stuff onto the App Store, and I can't just ship a Python, like binary or something right in. And there's a lot of complications to do that. And so we thought this would be a fun way to do this. And it's not necessarily about the focus of locking people into a certain thing. It's just more of like being engineers right now and playing around, and for people who are using the Swift environment and to make their own software. This could be very beneficial and maybe eye-opening to get a sense of where things are at, and kind of Ronald is my guinea pig today to stumble along painfully, as he's very used to Xcode and developing. So this is completely new to him, and there are a lot of people who are also new to learning Cursor that can benefit from where things are laid out or how do you do certain things that may not be obvious to other people. So we just kind of thought we'd participate in this whole type of thing. So React versus Swift, any thoughts on when approaching iOS development? I'm a big fan of the closer you get to the device, and if the code can run on the device and make faster system calls, that's the clear winner. And so I think that's kind of where you're at. Like it would really just depend on your use cases and the UI usability. So if you find that your movements or the user experience is compromised, or you can't tap into certain APIs because it's only device-specific APIs, then that's kind of as far as you're going to go for each of the languages. For the most part, like the looks can look the same, and if that's just enough that you need for your app, then that's pretty cool. But Swift is very rich as far as the libraries that are available for you, and Apple uses them themselves, and those are readily available for you to develop on. And like any programming languages, as you get into one thing, you'll start to understand how the libraries work even more intimately, and when they release a new feature, you can really quickly add that in to your project. So would love your opinion there, if you've had any insight on that, Ronald.
I have an opinion. So the thing is if Joshua would have asked this like a few years ago, I would have said go with Swift. Period. The reason is one, Swift applications, as you said, Ray, they're closer to the metal. They're native. They feel native. And any React Native application doesn't even feel. I mean, it might look almost the same, but it never is the same. Uh, However, I think there's two reasons why you might want to choose React Native instead of like Swift nowadays. The first is Swift UI. Swift UI is the new Apple graphical user interface library. And while it's extremely easy to get started with, you will run into issues. I can assure you that if you're developing like more complex interfaces, and it's extremely hard to debug. If you just search for Swift UI on Twitter, you will see like the most experienced developers asking what should be pretty
Crying. I
basic
mean, yeah,
questions.
asking. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but it is
It's rough.
impossible to
Yeah,
debug, and
it's
it's very hard
rough.
to find. It's really mean. I'm. I mean, I really have like a love hate relationship with Swift UI. To be honest, it's hard. The second reason to choose React Native is for AI applications that there are way more good and mature AI libraries for JavaScript or TypeScript than there are for Swift. Swift is really behind in a lot of ways when it comes to AI. I mean, we've talked about it is more often in our live stream on Fridays. We had Fatsal on the show, who was trying to make a dent to really like get a lot of like open source tools out there. I have released a number of open source AI Swift tools, but it's still lacking. It's not there yet. Even like MLX again is a framework that's from Apple. The Swift support is there, but it's always behind by a month or so. Yeah, I don't have a definitive yes or no if for the question React Native versus Swift. Again, it would have been like an easy answer 3 years ago. Now, it depends. I mean, there's both pros and cons. If you know how to use Swift and you want to like help the Swift community with AI tools that are high quality and easy to use, I mean, I highly encourage you to do that, because it is In the long term, I think something that we all need, and there is like a lot of work to do and a lot of opportunity as well in the Swift AI community, because so many things are lacking. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's not to say that there aren't any good Swift packages, and there are some out there. Like we've interviewed Mark's Luzel, and then the folks who do AI at Proxy Pro, and there's people making apps that are using the new Flux models and really cool stuff. So just across the board, it's just really pick something, and
Yeah,
I
or
kind
like
of
the
also
Whisper kit
yeah
we just saw, right? I mean, Whisper
yes
kit is
yeah.
an excellent example. But yeah, AI proxy is a good example. I mean,
hmm
yeah, there is some, but not enough, in my opinion. We need
Yeah.
more.
So
We need more.
exactly. Yeah. So I would say I'm also bullish on device stuff because Apple tends to come late to the game, but when they come into the game, it's going to be probably pretty heavy. So they're like usually don't like to like show any poker face at all ahead of time, and if they do, it's pretty strategic, and you'll see why. And so if you start learning Swift now, you may have advantage of other people who are trying to learn to get onto Swift. By the time it becomes like by the time the Swift actually becomes like actual hype with AI, you can already have like years of experience with it, and so you're like you could be churning out apps super fast and be beating ahead of people. So investment, to each its may, and hopefully we're trying to discover what some of the limitations are today in this stream on developing with Swift, and we're just starting out with a port of Python to Swift, and then maybe in future streams we can see like how do we then can we actually make a full-blown Swift app, and then iterate with it using code, and how smart are these models, and we're going to learn that together here. So appreciate y'all tuning in. This has been a really epic stream so far. It's an hour 40 minutes. We're kind of got together the first part of it, which is kind of get started. So right now there's a bug because when you have it generate code in the composer view, it's actually not really like actually generating the code in the UI, which it usually does. And so do you think we should just like, now that you've saved everything, should we just quit and then relaunch Cursor
Yeah, but before we do
at this
that,
point?
I just
Okay.
want
Oh yeah.
to see if we can compile the code.
Oh,
And
okay. Okay.
I'm guessing that's, I mean, run without debugging. I mean, I don't even know how this works in VS Code. Um,
Yes.
but it
Building.
is, show errors. Okay, good, good, good,
Okay.
good.
Oh.
Um,
Mm.
so, okay, what is it? Oh, I see. So this is, I think, where the error is. Line
Mm-hmm.
22. A property cannot be declared public because its type uses internal type. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Honestly, I would prefer to have this open instead of like public.
Mm.
So, oh God, type declared here. Oh, here you go. Okay. So what if we make? Oh, actually, so this is actually a question for you as well, Ray. So we have like a bunch of errors. Oh, holy shit! That's actually a long list of errors. So I can see a few things to fix it like already,
Yeah.
but that's not what we're here for, of course. I want to
Right.
know
I want AI
if
to do my job
Cursor.
for me.
Exactly. So how do we go about how do we do this? Because I assume that Cursor has like access, or the AI has access to the errors I see right now.
That's correct. Yeah. So you can like let's just go ahead and hit Command I for now, or Command Shift I.
Command
Yeah,
I.
Command Shift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
Command Shift I.
yeah. Oh,
Is
this is fine. Yeah.
Command Shift I?
If you
Okay,
yeah,
gotcha. Yeah.
if you hit create or no, go to your project at the very. So this is what confused me, and I figured this out yesterday. Go to the very
Yeah.
top
Okay.
left.
Good.
Oh, Command Shift I,
Command Shift I.
and
Sorry.
bring a composer. So this is composer view. Go to the where it says the great conversion, the little square package thing at the top left corner. You click
Yeah.
that, and then hit
Oh,
new
this is
composer
this is
window.
like our system prompt, right? Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So if you go to new composer window, maybe we'll just focus in on this file, and so we'll
Yeah.
say, fix the build errors.
Okay. Fix the build errors.
I'm sorry, this is going to cost you $5. Would you
Well,
like to
I'm paying
tip?
the twenty
It's
dollars,
like
right? I'm paying it.
I paid 20. Would you like to tip? So, like they don't even say anything, just like tip? Question mark.
That don't know if it still works, but it used to be like a hack to get like a better response for any LLM is to basically bribe it. Say like hey, if you give me the right answer, I will tip you, even though of course
Oh, I remember
it is a
this.
different
Yes, people
LLM.
were saying when
Yeah,
GPT-4 would get lazy, they would say,
yes,
and then like
yeah.
time of the year, hey, since it's European, it's probably on vacation most of the year except for these 6 weeks. So like, let's go ahead and see, give it the month that you're supposed to work. That's, oh my
It
gosh.
is. Yeah, LLMs are so weird. It's oh, what do we get here?
Okay, so it didn't apply the code. And I wonder,
Oh,
somebody was mentioning, is it possible that there's something wrong in the cursor settings that's maybe not applying the code? And I think that's possibly it,
yeah.
huh? So if we go to the gear in the top right corner, let's go ahead and close this for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Where
And
do settings
then,
go?
oh,
Oh, maybe those.
cursor. I also turn on cursor tab because I find that autocomplete very helpful. So let's go ahead and enable that. Partial,
Okay.
yeah, that looks pretty good. Auto import. So Composer is enabled. Always keep Composer in mind. Composer projects. Show suggested files. Okay. It,
Everything is complete now, so that's good.
yeah, in
Settings.
chat, yeah, it's good. Hit that refresh there for the docs.
Yeah. Indexing started.
Indexing
Okay.
started. There.
Yep.
Okay, now it's indexed.
Done.
Cool. Fade chat. No
Always.
default context. Huh. Because it didn't apply the code, which is so odd. Show chat history. Editor? Yes, scroll down. Auto parse. Auto select. Use theme diff backgrounds. Let's go to beta.
Long contact. Oh, we do want to have long context, I
Sure.
guess.
There's an Opus model for the 200K thing, but
Yeah.
and then AI review, you can enable that, and it's just another separate feature.
So what is this? Control Shift P.
Command, yeah, after reloading to review. So this is if you want to do a code review at the end
Oh,
before you check in your stuff. But you can do
oh,
that
I see. I see.
now.
I see.
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
go to general. I think if you scroll down in general, privacy mode. Okay. No, I think there's a bug. So we should probably get the output, save it in our thing,
Yeah.
and before we close and reopen the project, because I feel like there's a massive bug here.
So fix-
Yeah.
okay.
If you
So we
can
just
you, does it let you
comment-
like right click the file?
right click the file.
Or sorry, right click the
Oh,
chat where it says fix the build. Does it let you apply it? That's so strange.
no, nothing. No, there's no
Dang.
rights.
Yeah, yeah.
Just import
There's,
right here.
yeah, clearly there's a bug here. Okay.
Okay. Let's see if I get to this. I'm just gonna replace the whole everything that there is,
Did it get rid of stuff?
and
I think there's
let's
more builders, no?
see. Yeah, I don't know if it automatically starts building. Show errors, and it's oh wow, there's even worse errors, and we didn't save the previous version.
You can do Command Z
Uh,
to go back. I would
yeah,
just do,
well,
yeah, I would just do,
we're just learning, so yeah, that should be fine.
yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. MLX array. It is just making up. Interesting. No, it should actually have. Anyway.
Yeah, I would do
Um,
Command Z to undo
okay.
the changes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or,
Okay.
yeah.
Command
Okay,
Z.
cool.
That's it. This
Yeah.
is the
Let's go
previous
ahead and
version.
quit and reopen because just like there's
Yep.
clearly like a bug here. And then,
Okay. So we
okay.
try again. Command Shift I. And see. Fix the bugs in Whisper. Oh.
Yeah, at Whisper.
Whisper. I liked it. I like the tagging. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, now,
Okay.
yes,
There we go.
it
Yes.
works.
Yes.
Now
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like automatically.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, finally.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. There's like a bug. Damn, that
Oh,
sucks. We did so much work to set it up too. It's like, that's the whole point. Yeah. So if you scroll down, Wow.
Right, because now we can see like the answer is streaming on the right
Hmm.
side here.
Yeah.
It's hard to
And
read
so
it, but
on the before, like on you know where in that top right section there's a X, there's a square, and there's like a little refresh circle. So
yeah, yeah.
you know that middle part there, the square one, if you tap that one, that will basically bring it down into the smaller view, which is usually when you do Command I. So if you tap that now, I
Oh,
find
yeah.
this view a lot easier to read and reference. And so and that this is kind of where you can see the file
Oh,
is kind of
yeah, the
updating
tab.
itself.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right, right,
And then
right.
in just below that thing, there's actually says suggested. If you go back to Whisper MLX, um, up here, if you go to where it says suggested go, there's also a diff view. So yeah, there,
Oh,
which will show you the diff if you wanted to review it, and you can kind of see what it's doing. And then if you don't like it, you could just say, hey, you know, you're still breaking it this way or whatever you want. You say instead of public, do whatever, or don't use these, and then it'll just continue to take this and fix it. So this is kind
oh,
of how you would then start to really iteratively work. Yeah.
yeah.
Like if there's
It's
anything that's
pretty big.
completely glaring to you that you're like, oh my God, this should not be using that. I should be use this. Just tell it. And then since we're going to be working with this one file.
Well, I mean, again, I can't see what exactly it is doing, but it's that there's some really like the arrays are not arrays anymore. But yeah,
Oh,
that's oh
maybe we
the
want to
well, yeah,
reference,
yeah.
we want to
So
reference the two files. Yeah.
yeah. So this sounds good. So it hallucinated like
Mm,
the D. Maybe that's a Python thing, not in Swift,
mm.
but that needs to be fixed. Why don't we just click accept and see what will happen? Would that be a good
Yeah. Or
idea?
another way people do is hit save. So they'll hit save instead of
Oh, okay.
accepting. And then
Yeah.
the save will just save the file. And then it'll let you like run it and see what the next build errors are. And then we can kind of go from there, right?
How do
If you go to if you go
we?
to back to Composer in the top left there, next to Whisper Swift, there, yeah, this will tell you what has happened in the changes. So this is like a summary of what's happened. Um,
Ah, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What MLX is not recognized? So that's an MLX. Okay.
so what we can do
Yeah.
here is like that little plus sign only has MLX Whisper Swift, so we can probably give it the Python file just in case to reference, saying, hey, use. So in our instructions, what we can go ahead and do is. What I would do is right now is I want to see if it can review. I'm just going to have it re-review the specific Python file and then your specific documentation, and then see if it can
Okay.
just review. Yeah. So type in please review, and then at document that. What's the name of that port? At port.
Yep.
Yeah. And um, yeah, are you good? And the following and the at Python. What's that? Whisper.py or whatever.
Oh, I see. The Pi
Yeah.
Whisper.
MLX
Whisper. The
Whisper.
Pi.
Yeah.
Oh, here. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Please review. And to make sure it is implemented in
Correctly.
Swift. Yeah. Yeah, in Swift. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
correctly.
it.
Yeah. You can say correctly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. Fine. Yeah.
Too late. Too late.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Already
okay.
done. Already submitted it.
So somebody was
So
saying the
now
chat
streaming.
lags the video. I'm just kind of
Oh, I
switching the
see.
scenes
I
here.
see.
Yeah. Just to make sure everything's okay.
Yeah.
It could be my connection to the internet. Okay. So what did it say? It found a lot of bugs.
I have no clue why mx.array. What I don't that this is oh yeah, 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 yeah. But this is just pretty basic things how to how to convert from Python to Swift. Yeah, using throw instead of like value error. That's I mean yeah.
So it did more of a fix here.
Yeah. Well, let's see what I did. So what's interesting is in this view, this is not a complete code. I don't know why
Hmm.
it shows that, but in the original file, it is actually public. So sorry, it is complete. So that is nice to see.
Hmm.
I don't see any changes from the previous version, to be honest.
Go ahead and hit
There's a
save,
they,
and then you can hit reapply. So hit save, and then go ahead and hit reapply there, and then see if it can
yeah,
reapply the code.
this is like compared to the
Right now,
oh,
yes,
here we go.
it's
Here we go.
yep,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
that sometimes happens. You
Oh,
can give it the
hey,
docs for the MX array library as well. I see.
well, this was already fixed in the previous version. The concatenate
Yeah,
versus concatenated.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
We can accept it
what
and
I
run it
will
and
do
see.
is
Yeah. Oh,
exactly, yeah.
yeah.
Accept.
And then we can close this. Yeah, to the
Oh, then you have to close it. Okay, got it.
yeah, and then
And just run without debugging. Doesn't really matter. Just build it.
just
And there are errors. Okay, so these are different errors now.
mm,
So so cannot convert. Wait, what is the error?
let's
Cannot
close the left
convert
side
bool.
for now. Uh,
Oh, oh yeah, sure. How do we do that?
at the top left or
Uh,
top right by the gear, there's like three
oh,
icons.
yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. There you go. Yeah. Oh, so there's just like more
so this is
errors now. Yeah.
pretty different errors.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
also more. So can we just say again, hey, fix these errors?
Yeah.
Is it a
Yeah.
is it a
Go
good
go
idea?
back to
Okay.
yeah, Command Shift I, yeah. And then
This
go
I
to at the very bottom right it says type in your instructions. Say
fix
fix
the
the
errors.
yeah. We can use I like to use Command I for this so that you can this view the this is based on the lint errors and the Swift conversion guidelines. I'll provide the fixes to the main issues of the Whisper.Swift. Here are the key changes. Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, the literal errors are not the ones that concern me, to be honest.
You have to lint, man. If it doesn't lint, it won't build, right?
Yeah. I mean, it probably won't build because we're missing the other files, the other
Of
objects,
course.
which
Yeah.
but those are errors those are fine. But
Yeah.
returning a bool where it expects an array, yeah, that shouldn't happen.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
it's able to that's
So in essence here we're really just kind of narrowing down these files
yeah,
while keeping this document in mind. So it's right now actually
yeah.
trying to apply the diff. It says applying. So there's the diff.
Yeah, but that shouldn't matter because this is in scope. This error. So let's what is changed here. Okay, so this is definitely. Oh, that's interesting. Why? Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is fixing the issues that we saw.
Hmm.
No. Oh, it's deleting these things. That's interesting. Oh, that's
So one of the comments
very.
was I think it would be much easier to port one functionality at a time.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking the other. Yeah, I was thinking maybe if we port every file one after another, and then see
Mhm.
if it runs.
Yeah, like just to
Yeah,
have it so it has more context on each other. Because right
yeah,
now it's trying
yeah.
to sort of hallucinate about where it could go, right? Um, and
Well,
just
normally
kind
these
of
things are so it's using
true.
all these MLX areas. That should not be an issue.
Hmm.
I clicked it.
Oh, you may have to
Sorry.
save in a go to
Save.
Command I think.
Command I. Oh,
Oh,
whoa, what am I getting?
whoa, yeah, cancel, yeah. Command
Um,
I bring up, yeah, and then
save.
yeah, save. Yeah, I think it's already saved. Cool. Um,
And try again. Run. Oh.
Oh,
Oh. What is happening now? So, don't know what all these things are. Oh yeah, here we go again. Yeah,
YOLO.
errors. Okay, so the modules, that could be like another file. I'm not 100% sure. That's not too... Okay, but this is... it's less errors. It's less errors. So,
So I think this would be kind of fun to then go into our chat view and then maybe see if we can have it review the project file and then just like hit a new, create a new, let's see. Let's go ahead and click that one, hit new composer. We just want to start a conversation. I feel like I kind of want to do like a code review. Yeah.
okay.
And I'd say review the app project plan. Or sorry, at whatever the file is. Yeah. Project. Yeah. And review the at code base.
Can you say that? Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that it references the entire thing. And yeah, please let me know what the next steps are for the project plan and update the file with what has been done so far and what we need to do next.
What has been done and needs to be done next.
YOLO, my friend. YOLO.
I love the at code base. That's really cool. I didn't know.
Yeah, I forgot. I got to tell people that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of like hidden cool features in Cursor, it seems.
I don't know if it wrote the file out, so we may hit that bug again.
No, we have the same issue as previously. So we don't get the tab with like the file. So it's basically again a chatbot.
Yeah, that's weird.
And it thinks it has done all these things, which it really hasn't because of the errors. So it's missing the context of the errors that are still there, unfortunately. That would have been nice if it would have like taken that into account, but apparently it did not.
Why don't we just ask it? Say, please also take into context the errors and update and then add the project MV file.
Errors and update the good enough projects.
So it says tell Cursor to break down the functions into small chunks so they should, or chunks or think, so it should be easier to manage. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. But then again,
that makes sense. We're experimenting to try to figure out, like where the heck this is, how powerful is this? And we're quickly seeing that it definitely has to be doing that because it seems to run out of context really fast. We put a lot in it, and maybe it could be our approach of how we're putting all the files in.
Fix that. So now it says we haven't done like the fixed linter error, but those are not linter errors. Those are really type mismatches, maybe. Yeah. Okay. That's not actually bad. Type mismatches is. So it knows the errors. That's pretty cool. It's nice that it has like this overview of everything that's happening in the project, the files, the errors. That is really awesome.
That's right. That way, because the pain in the butt before for me was I was frequently copying stuff from the build output into Claude and then back out and ChatGPT and back out. That was such a pain. Yeah. And so at least that's an interesting thing. The sad part is there seem to be enough bugs where it doesn't write the file back in, because I don't think in this last run it updated the MD file, right? Yeah, I didn't write that file back into the thing. And we're also learning a little bit about the context window, that as far as like the context window basically is kind of narrow. When you feed in all the code, it does a lot of work to try to feed everything into one,
Yeah.
and then like it doesn't necessarily always output what we want. And as the voice of true has been telling us, it's probably better to break things down into smaller chunks so that it can manage it. And that's kind of what we're seeing here. And
Yeah.
in our exploration, basically today, I was just trying to push the limits of how far can Cursor take us, what can it do, and we gave it a monumental task, and I would have been surprised if it just did everything all in one go and just kept repeating and just going, and we didn't have to really touch it. And I think your mileage may vary, but this is all a starting point, right? Because then we can start with this. And what I like to do famously is then take some of what I've learned here and say, give me the instructions to give to an LLM so that I can continue this process in the future. And so what I would do is, and make sure you give me the instructions in Markdown. And then that will be my next system prompt for my next project, so that maybe I don't have to put so much into the context, and I can just kind of take everything it's learned, and things that I want it to do better. And then what I also do sometimes is use Perplexity and say, hey, I'm trying to undertake this project. What are some of the best practices that are being done in the development community? And then it will go search on the internet to that, and then say, okay, now that I have this information, I would go into Claude and I give it those instructions that we generated for the LLM and say, I've done a lot of research. Please help me update these instructions given this research so that the LLM can be very effective. And so then you combine the two worlds of like internet information, best practices, even talking to experts. Like if you physically talk to experts and have a lot of notes, you want to add those types of things in. And then you have your baseline instructions that you can continue to update. And so hopefully that you'll have something that's much more distilled down. Because the key here is really some of these system prompts. The language models are very capable, and they're sort of unpredictable as far as how the code can generate, as we see. And if you do keep giving things over and over, it will try to get better. But it seems to get better if we're able to give it information from the outside or additional context so that it can perform the way that we want it to. In some cases, even narrow down our scope so that it can perform better. So it's just kind of our observations so far. And so that's just kind of what we're kind of like a little bit learning here. And the goal of this stream is to kind of learn together. I saw the thing called Zed, and I have yet to play with it yet, because there are a couple of them. There's another one called Pear AI, which is basically a clone of this. I think they started at the same time as Cursor did, and Cursor got funding and got more resources. So Zed, I think, is the one that's in the terminal that you can do and call it, and use Claude as well. There's also Claude Coder or something like that. There's a bunch of them that are coming out, which would be really interesting. So,
Yeah. Coder
all
is a model, right?
what's that?
I think Anthropic they released a new model called Claude Code. Is that what
Oh,
Claude Code is?
Aiden as well.
100% sure.
Yeah. I
Oh,
have to take a look. That'd be interesting. So I think so. For now, let's see. We've gotten to the point where it tried to convert one thing. It's totally broken, and we're thinking that like maybe see if we can, like, let's just ask it. Say, please help me generate instructions in Markdown to give to an LLM, so that I can effectively do this conversion on my code base. And then we're going to do @web and @codebase.
uh, yep.
Uh,
To Swift's.
yeah.
In, excuse me.
And then @web.
Is
Yeah.
and add web.
Yeah. Oh, or so you don't
Is
have to
this
put
what?
and. You can take out and. So the @web will just basically
Oh,
make it go to the internet. Yeah.
I see. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Just any.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this is like
Yeah.
perplexity in Cursor. Wow. All right.
Exactly. And it has context. So sometimes it's useful if you know something is online, you don't want to go get it. You could just say @web and it'll just try to do a general search with the context. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So the more
Then I'm
specific
gonna
we are for,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay. Let's see what this does.
Yeah. I'm curious because we can create a new project that is just with these instructions, or maybe put our best practices in, to help.
Okay. Excuse me. Yeah, but is this what we need? This doesn't. I mean, yeah. I mean,
Hmm.
these are not the issues that we're seeing, right?
I see.
This is more a generic, like
Yeah.
convert. These are the things you
Right.
did pretty well at. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what
So
it
I'm
did.
kind of wondering, if we should continue with this, or if it would make sense to find a simpler project. Maybe this project was a little bit too much to do as a start.
Yes.
Um, I'm thinking, what if we will do another live stream
Yes.
porting another MLX project, but maybe a smaller project, um, and um, to see if that would make sense, because we kind of know the limits now of Cursor. We've run into some
Mm-hmm.
bugs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it does it essentially like it does like definitely like 95% of the conversion for us,
Mm-hmm.
just not the last 5%. And
That's right.
again, that might be as people suggested, because we just took a big project. We took like huge files. Maybe we should not have done that. um, I think I have a few ideas I want to try out. More, yeah, yeah. So we get a response here. Be more specific in prompts and add file context. The file context we added, I think, but definitely do when you tag.
I
Oh,
think he's
there's
also
a question.
saying that like
Yeah,
we first started off very broad. We were trying to like really test the limits here to see if we just throw the kitchen sink at it, is it good enough to do it? So that would have just been like the, oh my god, this is game over. AGI is here, and like let's just close our laptops. Like I'm done. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go in the lake and
right,
chill
right,
over here.
right. It
But
definitely is
we
not. It is not
yeah, definitely
for
is not.
now. Yeah.
And so we wanted to kind of go live to kind of showcase, how far can it really take us, And so what we're learning very quickly, as you point out as well, is that yes, it is true. We kind of have to narrow the scope a little bit and be a little bit more specific and do these types of things. There's some pluses and there's some minuses. The pluses, is, as Ronald discovered and we both discovered, is the fact that we no longer have to copy and paste build errors out from your Xcode or wherever your environment is and put that into
That's
Claude
true.
and then come back.
Yeah.
And these round tripping is just exhausting. And then updating files in the code is also pretty exhausting, because you're having to like manually search and use energy to make sure you're updating certain functions and things. So those are really nice. And is that Cursor specific to be determined, and I think there's other platforms that are trying to catch up to them, but I think so far it's worked pretty well. And we're not sponsored by any of them. You can bring your own Anthropic key, you can bring your own OpenAI key, but we're really honestly trying to give this a fair shot to see where we're at. And as you see, we've uncovered a whole slew of bugs. And Ronald, having been a developer for 20 plus years and working specifically in Swift in the last decade plus, from the very beginnings of Swift, and having exclusively worked in Xcode and now trying to use this for Cursor, there's a lot of learnings that we're sharing as you go. And I've been using Cursor for a little bit, so trying to kind of show a little bit of the things that I'm seeing. So we're kind of meeting in the middle a little bit and sharing these best practices. And yeah, and we're trying to do this type of thing. So I didn't know about the Swift plus Cursor. Yeah, we're trying to convert this Python project and to Swift, and yeah, it can work. And I agree with Ronald that we should probably. I'm also thinking about one of those AI proxy projects, which we kind of fund because they're already made. And we can already tap into the code base sets there. So it's like, maybe can we add a feature? Or maybe can we have it connect to a different endpoint to generate images? Because there are some cool apps that now he supports Replicate. So we can use Flux as a way to generate images by typing in something. So I think that could be
Sorry,
really
is
fun
that
because...
did you say Cursor supports replicates out of the box? Is that what you
Oh,
said?
sorry. AI Proxy Pro, I think,
Oh, yeah,
supports...
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
either
Yeah.
Replicate or one of the models where you can go and generate images using the new Flux stuff. And so since he has a free tier that allows us to use, so much, we can make it like a demo app. I actually really funnily enough, I have a swipe file of iOS like Swift UI snippets that are like animations and like little projects that I have, but that I've never. I mean, they're not shippable apps, but I always like good design, and so I call it a swipe file, but it's just literally like a whole project of like, animations and things. So it'd be kind of fun to see if I can pull some of those in, to maybe see if we can just play around and make a really fun, quick app, with like the cute little onboarding screen or something. But yeah, at first we just want to make it, generate an image by typing in some text. And because the code base is there, and one of the advantages of having these AI assistant coding things is the fact that you can build features on top of it really quickly once the code base is there. And we're sort of doing an example of that, but we're doing we had to do a conversion of Python to Swift, and so we're kind of seeing how that works and looks like and stuff. So Claude is definitely the best for Swift in my experience. It still has a lot to learn. Yeah. So what is your? I mean, review the code. I mean, like. You saw it generate some stuff. I wanted to get your opinions on what you think, since you have a lot of like experience using Swift, and we just kind of saw firsthand its first attempt using some Python things to generate. Is it because we asked it to convert, it's leading too heavily on some Python things, and that maybe have some influence on it? Because we didn't have it go from 0 to Swift, we just had it go from Python to Swift.
Yeah. So I think that the issues that we're seeing, is this actually an error? I can't even tell. It has a red dotted line here. There we go. Yeah, these are all like MLX specific issues. So I think the Swift code itself is actually pretty good. I would have done a few things differently. I would have made this open instead of public. Since the package already defines Mac OS 14 and up, we don't need this. I mean, these are some smaller things. That's not the end of the world. The errors that are here are mostly related to MLX, and I wish there was a better way of just adding the whole documentation of MLX to Cursor.
Ooh.
But yeah, that's not something that's as far as I understand possible yet. I think so. Sorry, there's a comment here from GP. I think give it the MLX doc URL and it might be able to do a better job. Yeah, we tried that, I think, but it didn't.
Yeah, we did, and it was taking a while
Yeah.
to index, so we ended up making a markdown version earlier. And so the downside,
That
though,
was
is
only
that you
the
have to,
yeah.
it only does the top level, and you have to recursively give it a URL for each one. And then, like, there's also not a good way to recursively call all of them. And so, unless somebody knows a way, that'd be really interesting if that's even possible. So it's also possible to add a custom text in your cursor options. Yeah, I think they're talking about like cursor rules, and the cursor rules file is the one that would kind of say, this is how we work with this project, and where we're using Swift, don't use whatever your preference is for that.
Okay.
So yeah. Oh yeah, it's okay. It's
Yeah.
totally fine. Yeah, we've been going on for basically 2 hours plus on this stream, and so for those folks who are tuning in, we basically tried this massive effort to convert this Python file, Python project into Swift, and try to see, how much it can generate. Is it good enough to generate the code? And I'm planning to have timestamps because we have had some sections where we kind of introduce the project, a little bit of background of what, MLX is, what CoreML is a little bit, and then we talk a little bit about the IDE. Since Ronald is new and coming from the Xcode background, we also kind of did a little bit of an overview of kind of what's new, what's different, what plugins you need to get started to use Python, and also maybe use some Swift stuff. And that's kind of getting us started, and then changing some of the default settings, like making sure that we have using the new Claude Sonnet. By default, it was using cursor small, so just those little gotchas. And then we also covered a little bit about the projects, so the new projects feature and how we were able to feed in instructions, and also give it focused files as a way to have things in its context, very similar to what Claude Sonnet is doing. So that was just kind of a big part of, like I said, the TLDR of the stream. So if you're catching this right now at 2 minutes and 18 seconds, that's the TLDR of the stream. So yeah, and I'm going to try to have chapters for each of these types of things to kind of walk you through. And this is just kind of more meant as like an exploratory stream to hang out and see, where are we at? Like, these models aren't perfect, and we know that. We wanted to give it as much as possible and see what it could do, and then try to maybe see what our next steps are. And our next project, I think, is going to be even more fun because we're going to try to do something maybe a little bit smaller and take an existing code base and see if we can build up on top of it. Because one of the powers and examples of GitHub is people open source software, and then you can just take that and start building on top of it, and that's kind of a really big unlock for development and stuff. Oh yeah. Yeah, we did that in the cursor rules. If you go there, there's a gear at the top to add the documents, and so we were able to do that a little bit earlier. We can show them that feature
Oh,
now,
okay.
just so that
Can
people
you tell
know.
me how to get there again? Because
So
that's
that's a very good. Yeah, to get
yeah,
there, you go to the very top right where that gear is at. Yeah.
yeah.
And then from there, where it says features on the left, the cursor settings, yeah. If you scroll down, there's a way that says
Well, let
docs.
me
Yeah, composer. Let me get rid of Alex thing here.
docs. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So then that blue button
Oh,
to
okay,
add new doc,
but yeah. So
you just
again,
keep
it's not
giving it more
clear.
URL pages. Yeah.
Yeah, let's
So
see.
you have to just keep it like so. If you want to go and give it the next URL,
Yeah, what I wanted to do is if this. Oh, wait. This is not what I want. Documentation. There we go. So this is the MLX documentation for the current version. So GP said we should be able to add this, and it should like basically fetch every. Actually, this is MLX random. This is not what I actually want. Why doesn't this? This is weird. Documentation. Let me do this manually. Okay, here we are. So this is the MLX documentation with all the pages here. So what I'm wondering is what GP said is if we add this to the docs, does it like crawl and index? Yeah, because it
no,
says entry
it
point.
doesn't do it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so.
I'm just gonna add it. Let's
Yeah,
see
yeah,
what
yeah.
it does.
Start a new chat on the side and chat with that once it's done indexing. I'm curious. I want to say no. I'm just curious. I would be so hyped if it does, because we can ask it something deeper in that file. Index 0
It says
pages.
index
Okay.
0
Oh,
pages.
that's
So
okay. So go to the top one.
does
See how
that
many
mean?
pages it indexed.
Yeah.
Go the one above it.
So
The first one that is already indexed is green. Yeah, that one.
yeah, it is one page.
Oh,
Pages.
okay. Let's see. That would be cool.
So it's still busy. What is it doing?
I
Or
don't
can we
know.
see what is? Oh,
Index
it
is
started.
started. Yeah. It's
Okay,
probably
so
kicking off some
maybe we
type
should
of
have done
Lambda
this
function or
at the
something.
start.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if
Wow.
so, we should go back in another in the next
Yeah.
live stream.
Or I'd say play around with it offline.
Oh,
You
I'm
know?
definitely gonna do that. I'm definitely gonna do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Indexing. Okay, so it's now actually indexing documentation. Let's go. Yeah.
Let's see.
It must spin up like a 10
Oh,
pages.
here
Let's
we
go.
are. That's what we should have done in the
Let's
start.
yes.
Okay, so
See, this
it
is not clear to
does.
me,
Like,
and this is
oh
so nice that we're
wow.
actually discovering this. Man, this
Yeah.
is awesome.
Thank you, TP. Thank you. That is awesome.
It does. I've done this several times
Yep.
with docs and cursor.
Eh,
Yay. Damn,
okay.
look at
Yeah.
all those
This is what
docs.
we should have done.
Let's go. Oh my
Wow.
gosh. At
Oh. Yep.
MLX Swift. So maybe we
So
can
yeah,
remove some of
again,
those really lengthy the instructions, right? Like
yeah.
and only reference it if
Well,
it's messing
I
up.
want to do that at the next time because there's so much
Yeah,
information we
yeah.
have
This,
now. But this is
right.
something definitely like we should have done in the first, and this isn't clear. This wasn't even clear that there was a docs setting in Cursor. And I wish there was like a more project view, like hey, this is a new project. Add like the documents. It would be so nice to have that. But the fact that it has it and it can do it is pretty amazing, even though it's kind of hidden.
Yes. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Man, that's so
But I mean,
amazing that yeah, we basically have been able to put that and then see all of the indexing that it's done at the root level.
yep.
That That to me is just so awesome. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
It was not.
So
It's
this
not
is
even obvious to me.
wow.
Like I've been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, no, no. Yeah. But
Yeah.
the cursor is very powerful. It's just like these things
Mm,
are so hidden, and if you
right.
don't do it, you get all these errors without like. I wish the model, if you use like their own cursor model, it would say like
Mm,
hey, I see that you haven't like that you're using MLX, but you haven't added the
yeah.
docs to the doc whatever features, but it doesn't say that.
Yeah. Says I think the
Um,
better solution is to get an idea of the implementation of Python code, and then tell Cursor to replicate them in Swift way. Yeah, so like
this is
basically what he's saying
yeah.
is that like at the very beginning of our chat, maybe we could have done an exploratory chat to say, "Hey, tell me about the Python implementation of this actual project." So
Okay.
by getting the LLM to tell it what it sees, then it kind of basically gives us a guiding principle, and then we'll take that principle and say, "Now convert this to
Yeah.
Swift." And then you can say, let's start with the first part, which is Whisper something. So
Yeah.
yeah, we've learned a lot of things just
Yeah.
playing around with this, and it's really nice
Yeah.
that people have been able to join us to share their experience here. This is super
Yeah.
helpful.
Yeah. I have one question for GP or anybody else who knows about this. So the docs are added to the cursor settings, which means that these docs will be in the context or the system prompt or whatever how that's used for every project. But that's kind of odd because sometimes you have a product that uses MLX Swift. The next project might be like CoreML, and then I want to like
So it is
add a
only
CoreML document.
used when you add the document. So those are
Okay,
there and
let's see
available.
how
Yeah. So
let's
like
see how that works. How do you do that to make
like
it
if you go to
bigger?
one of the chat windows, like do Command I if you wanted
Yeah.
to for Command I.
Okay. Command
Uh,
I.
yeah. So where it says type in your instructions, you can either hit it
Yeah.
there with the at reference, at MLX dash, or you see where it says docs. Yes.
Here we are.
Yeah.
So it's not automatically added. Okay, you still have to
Right.
reference it as with add docs. Oh,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Or you can
That's
add it in
really
the
cool.
little plus. I think you can add it in the plus sign as a file. I don't remember. That's go where it says add files to the
Okay.
left. Uh, on the left side.
See add files. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I don't know MLX
Add
dash.
doc. No, it doesn't.
I think that's just
Let's. No,
dash.
it's
Yeah.
not.
Okay. So that's only real
Ah, okay,
physical
not
files.
docs. Docs are not
So
files
yeah.
for some reason.
By the way,
And
when you
files
hit that plus
is
sign, by the way,
ID. Yeah.
yeah. So the plus
Yeah.
sign, what it does is it creates a new chat window. So there's the difference between the two pluses. So the plus to the left that says add files, and then if
That's
you do
why I
Command
don't.
Shift I,
I,
yeah. If you see that little to the left of the composer, yeah. So that one, see how you basically when you hit that plus, it created a new chat for that project.
yeah, but I didn't
That's what's
see
confusing.
the
Yeah.
plus was gone. It's
It
gone.
turns
I mean,
into
it's not.
dots once it's
It's not
gone.
there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
show
Is
history.
that
Yeah,
percent history?
um, yeah. So you can select the previous
Oh.
one. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. That's not what I. Okay.
yeah.
Cool. But yeah,
Cool, man.
so the trick is use the add docs. That is so amazing. That is
Yes.
so cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
so
think they're.
it has like all these elements like as default, which is not
Hmm.
relevant to us.
Yeah,
This is really cool. This is really cool. Yeah.
yeah. Could be
Wow.
super helpful.
I mean,
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have been cooked ourselves. Yeah, I mean, we've gone through this massive undertaking to try to see what is possible with Cursor, and obviously with language models, the more specific, the better. But we were just curious to see how good is Claude Sonnet 3.5? How good is Cursor at taking a task like converting from Python to Swift, and the good news is it got us most of the way there. The big pluses seem to be more related to like usability. So having build areas available in the context, which is really nice. Having a project that has your files to reference, and then the documentation, I think for you seems to be the biggest mind blowing event. So it's like you can have your documentation stored and available, and you can just at reference it. And what that does is that it even it looks like it goes into further into the tree. It indexed 10 different files
yes.
from that website, and it shows you what
Yeah,
it did just
20.
by going into. Oh, 20 is probably
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
going. Yeah. Yeah. And so that's nice. You can, at reference it make some changes and focus on your file and have it update. So I'm going to be doing that because I'm going to be connecting some databases and doing some really cool stuff. Man, this is it. To me, it feels like it unlocks a whole new world
Yes,
of like
yes, yeah,
moving faster. Because typically, what I would have to do is I would take the build logs from the output of any IDE, paste them into Claude, come back, and then like hit all these limits in Claude because I was just constantly going back and forth, filling up, my context windows, and Claude says, you need to chill for now. I'll see you like at 8 p.m. tonight. I was like, it's only 3 o'clock. What's going on? So that's an interesting unlock. And for those who are just tuning in, my name is Ray Fernando, and I'm trying to do these live streams to share a little bit of my enthusiasm for coding and meeting up with other experts like Ronald, who's been a Swift developer for the last decade and a developer just in the whole sense, for I think 20 plus years, right, in the industry, and has lots of experience. And so it's been really fun to ask him different questions about how does he approach this project? What do you think about this? And also like the nomenclature you hear for people who have like very opinionated opinions about things and stuff that you'll run into in the development community. And we're just trying to have fun on the stream and use this as a way to talk to you. And I'm currently remote right now in Montana for like a little bit until like the end of the week, and then I'll be back to my normally scheduled program in the Bay Area. And so the live streaming thing is completely new. This all started about a week and a half ago, literally, trying to meet some friends and show them like online, literally, hey, what are you doing in Cursor? I've been using this for a while. Let me show you some tricks. And it's just been going, absolute gangbusters. And I just realized that, people want to learn. And that's the way that I learned, is by going up and bugging people, knocking on their office door saying, hey, how do you do this? Or I'm running into this bug, what do I do? And the people that were patient enough to help me really kind of moved my career forward significantly. So I feel like if I can just turn on the camera and connect with my friends and code with you, run into issues and debug them live, maybe you can learn something from this, and maybe a younger version of me can also take this and learn from it. It doesn't matter if it's a man, woman, and child, whatever, anything it is. In the age of AI, this is moving so quickly, and it's just really hard to share a lot of this information over text. And sometimes just by watching, you can pick up a lot more. And then what's great is that we have friends online who like to actually share information, like, shout out to GP, shout out to the Voice of True, Seven Racker, Alex, and Zach, and all these people who've been tuning in and commenting in the streams, Andres. Definitely appreciate y'all for, speaking up and sharing your inputs as well. And I feel like if you have been enjoying the stream so far, definitely share this with a friend. And because we're going to have more of these, not only with Swift, but we're also going to do front end, back end stuff. I'm going to do some more app build outs. I have another big request for people they want to connect their app to authentication. So selecting an authentication provider, also connecting your app to a database and kind of what that would look like using Cursor. There's a lot of really fun stuff that you can do. And I'm just really excited at this age of like having an idea, putting it into code, and then playing around with it and trying to learn, right? Ask it questions and do these types of things. And it's really, really cool. And I also want to let Ronald talk about his app, Pico, and things that he's been building with Swift. And please share and let us know how people can get in contact with you, Ronald.
Yeah, sure. So I have an app in the App Store called Pico. It's a LLM frontend for now, OpenAI and Grok. And Grok is if you haven't used it yet, it's insane. Grok with the Q, it is so fast. And yep, that's Pico. So check it out. I'll post a free trial for 2 weeks and underneath this chat on Twitter in a second, so you can try it out and see it. It works for both iOS and macOS, and has a lot of like interesting features like folders. You can hide, make chats private with your Face ID or Touch ID. And overall, it's just a nice professional app to have if you're have used all the other apps, but found them too limited in many ways. So yeah, check that out. And I'll post a free trial coupon code in the chat.
Very, very cool. Yeah, no, it's pretty awesome that you're able to provide this. for everyone here, and just share your experience online with us. I think I'm very honored to have you here online to share with us. And for those who don't know, we also have a weekly show every Friday called the AI Tech Salon, where we get to share our joy of what's been happening for the past week in AI tech and so forth. And I come at it from a perspective of having worked a lot of the stuff on device. I used to be an engineer at Apple for 12 years, and now I'm currently on my own doing AI and sharing my love and passion of tech. I also am a tech enthusiast, as both of us are. So usually when there's a tech announcement, I'm usually the first one to buy them and line up. And so I love to try things out and unbox things. And I have some videos up on my YouTube channel that show the unboxing of the Humane AI pin, like the problems I ran into using it and like why I had to return it. And then I also have some stuff unboxing the new wearables, like from Friend and so forth. And I have a bunch of wearables and stuff that are still on order and along the way. So if you like that type of stuff, definitely like and subscribe. You can find me at Ray Fernando 1337. And so that's kind of my handle there. And I think this has been a really amazing stream. I really appreciate everyone who's been tuning in and for all the streams and commenting and stuff and reaching out. And we, I definitely have been enjoying this energy, and it's just been really nice to share with you. And so I think kind of closing out the stream, just double checking any comments and stuff, and just kind
There
of
is one, Zach.
yes.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, there's quite a bit that came in. Yeah, it says, "Thanks for the series. I downloaded Cursor with zero knowledge. I created an app using Twitter profile data and generated AI. So my favorite move is bun run dev. Yes, that's awesome. That's amazing. That's so cool. Thanks, Everin. That's like more power to you. I love that you've been able to do that type of stuff. And Zach has an implementation in progress for WhisperKit, if that helps. Please share.
Yes.
Ooh.
So I don't know if Zach was here when we started the live stream, but we mentioned WhisperKit. So original idea for today was if we were able to port MLX Whisper to Swift. The next step would have been to make the API as Swifty as a WhisperKit. So we weren't able to do that today. But yeah, WhisperKit is, as I said in the beginning of the live stream, a great example of a high quality Swift library, AI library. And I wish that more libraries like that would be this quality. I love WhisperKit. It is like one of the core examples of if you're a Swift developer and you don't have like AI experience, this is one of the libraries you want to use because it's awesome. Again, we mentioned in the beginning that WhisperKit is based on CoreML. And if this will be like MLX based as well in the future, that would be awesome because then we can test how fast CoreML, the new CoreML, will be versus like MLX. Very curious to see how that will work out. So yeah.
Yeah, and keep the same functions to swap right in. Yeah.
There's actually already a pull request. He mentions.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Let's go.
There we go.
Yes. So there you go, Ronald. Yeah,
wow.
I want to see. Let me share your screen so I could see the amazingness.
Oh, sorry. I didn't even know.
It's okay.
Describe my screen. Yeah. I was like looking at that.
I know. I was watching your reaction. It looks so cool.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
So like,
I didn't look at the pull requests, but yeah, Zach is way ahead of us.
I am excited to check this out. Let's go, Zach. Thank you, Zach. Cool. This is gonna be great. I'm so hyped for that. Damn, this is awesome. This is so cool. Like having everyone here. What's the URL to your landing page for your course? Corentin, I don't have it yet, and I'm not really trying to launch a course, but I'm actually trying to launch like a workshop. And so a workshop is going to be basically like a version of the live stream, but more kind of dialed down and kind of executing pretty quickly at the beginning, and then having it open more towards the end for question and answers. And I plan to record that, and I'm currently just I need to get some time here in between these different hikes and things to kind of finish out like the API connection so I can start to mail everyone, because I am still actually setting this up for the first time, which is kind of fun. But I want to do it the right way, and I want to have the best platform available so that everyone can log into the stream and watch it, and then also have it recorded so it could be available later for everyone. And the goal, I think, there is just kind of a little bit more of like the basics of getting started, and then I think want to do some follow-up streams. So by me being able to, for you being able to sign up with your email, it's completely free. I'm really not trying to sell you anything. I'm just trying to stay more connected with you and also find out, what are some of the problems that you are all running into, because it's so hard sometimes when you've been working on something for so long to forget what happened at the very beginning. So as people come in, it helps give me context on, oh yeah, that's right, I should talk about that because people are running into those issues. I also have some videos coming up that are going to be, or streams coming up to connect your Replit. People are using Replit and the SSH keys. So there's a lot of confusion on that, especially through Windows. And so I helped someone yesterday with a Windows, because apparently you can run Linux on a Windows machine there, Ronald, and you can run Linux commands and everything. If that's not installed properly, you can have a bunch of issues with SSH keys between that and connecting to external things. So yeah, a lot more to come. I think it'd be kind of fun. And so, hello, yeah, love the learn and share vibes. Yeah, no, this is such a vibe right now. And if you haven't had a chance, definitely follow us. That's our handles down below at Ray Fernando 1337, at Ronald Mannak on X. You can find him there, and yes, definitely check out his app, Pico Pro or Pico GPT, and I should just publish your landing page that I made. Just push it live, and that way people can just go. Because literally, I made a landing page for Ronald, just so that he can have something, so that whenever we talk about it on stream, and so I was like, well, I made this in Cursor really quick, and it has his reviews from the App Store and stuff. And right now, people don't know how to get this, but I'm going to see if I can push this live, so that way we can just share it online and put it on the stream, and you can try out the app. Also, I think you can set on the X, and I'll see if I can put the X post on the YouTube stream, so people can go and get that, because they want to sign up for you. You give them, I think, 2 weeks for free, I think, right, as well for your app. Yeah. That'd be really cool. So yeah, appreciate everyone kind of tuning in with us to build. This has been a really epic long stream to kind of figure out the limits of what's happening with Cursor, with the language models, porting something from Python into Swift, all the different challenges, and then coming in at the very end with Zach saying, yo, bro, I got you, fam. I'm already doing this with the pull request, which is nice. But we got to test the limitations, and you got to see how it looks like from someone who has been developing with Swift almost exclusively on Xcode, now coming into this platforming, kind of approaching these. And so you may be approaching these problems too. And I hope that you took away something from this today, that, this stuff is out there. I encourage you to play with it. We're here to continue to explore, not agnostic to Swift. We're trying different languages. That's part of the fun of AI, is that you can now try other languages and try other things that you never did before, and be very surprised, because I'm very surprised as I'm now playing with front end and back end, how amazing these tools can be. And I'm like, I was like, I really don't know the language very well, but it's already building really cool stuff for me. And so if I can take you along that journey on my live streams to kind of share my thought process, share how I prompt, give that away to you for free, I feel like that'll just level you up so much. And I just care about your well-being, my well-being, and I think this is a good way to multiply my time, because I only have one of me, and there's many of you who want to learn, and I definitely appreciate y'all coming in for the ride. And I'll have some more updates for you. Just stay tuned. If you haven't liked yet, go ahead and subscribe, share with a friend if you've enjoyed this at all, and tell them that you're hyped about it, and sending lots of peace and vibes out there. Always spread love, always spread goodness, and hopefully you were able to catch this vibe here while I'm chilling in Montana. Ronald Mannak over in the Bay Area, and I don't think I have anything else to add there. Ronald, do you?
No, I just saw a funny comment from Corentin, saying Heroku is a pretty good alternative to Replit, and the funny part of that is, of course, that Heroku, that's OG. That's one of the first easy to install backends back in the day. Yeah, I mean, I used to go to parties. So,
at Swift, I remember the early days. Someone worked at Heroku. Yeah, they're like, "Hey, I work at Heroku." I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Tell me more." And another alternative I use was a Railway. Now, Railway is pretty cool for deploying
Railway
apps.
is awesome. I use Railway.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love Railway.
Yeah. But Heroku was the first one. I mean, Matt with 3 T's used to work there. He was one of the old Objective-C people back in the day. But yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and
awesome.
I do have the video saved, so I'm going to try to clip it up and try to remove my friend's keys, just so that those aren't exposed, and try to see if I can get something to help you kind of walk through the process. And I'll probably just may do a voice narration of the video, so that way it just kind of walks you through of how you would do that, setting up Cursor with Replit through SSH. So thanks for
Oh,
sharing
you
those
have
tips about Cursor.
airplanes in Montana. I hear airplanes in the background.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a
That's
airport nearby. Yeah,
oh,
it's
that's
just
so.
yeah, yeah. Amongst the moose and amongst the bears and various creatures, there's also airplanes and civilizations nearby. So yeah, for those who are just kind of tuning in, let me see if I can make it a single pane screen here. Yeah, basically this is kind of like the vibe right now, just on the water and on the lake and stuff.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, and yeah, there's a lot of little like glacier-like little like lakes and ponds because of the topography of it being very close to Canada over here by Glacier National Park. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, definitely the docs thing is really cool. I think that was Zach. That was the biggest unlock today in our stream. Was just like uploading a URL for the docs. I was convinced that was not recursive. It actually is, and it does go further down into those doc chains and pulls it in. So like
Mind blown. Absolutely.
yeah,
That's a big one. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, okay. I don't know. See, this was crazy. I get into these things. It's like, how do I need to exercise. I need to stand up. I need to get moving. I need to get some food. There's a lot of things I want to do, and I could just easily stay coding all day because it's so fun and I like this stuff, and hopefully you get that enjoyment from this, and I think that's kind of why we're all hanging out here, and so this has been a really chill stream. Big shout outs again to Linus for stopping by earlier. You're going to be checking out, he's completely in a different time zone in Spain, so he's probably like asleep right now and going to be waking up later to check out the stream. So hello again, and thank you for tuning in, Linus. And those who also came in earlier to say hello and like to see how approachable things are. So to all my friends on X, to all my friends on YouTube, on Twitch, and to future followers and friends, we welcome you with open arms, and we thank you for tuning in today. This was really, really fun and really epic, and I'm trying different live stream configurations, and we hope that you tune in for the next one. And until then, we'll catch y'all later. Bye, guys.
Thanks.